if y'all can hear me.
It says I'm live, but I have no fucking clue.
I don't see you on my end.
Wait, why in the hell is it?
Oh,
No, dude.
Why
I
is it
saw
up
the
here?
videos.
It's live.
What is happening
It's
right now?
live.
Okay, what the hell? Why is it on monitor 2? I don't want it on monitor 2. I want it on monitor 1. Why is it doing that? What? Okay, I gotta pull up fucking YouTube on my phone. Because I don't even know what this bitch looks like this right now.
Well, you are live, just so you do know.
Sweet!
Yeah.
Hi, live everybody. We're unfucking things at the moment. It's glorious.
Technology wins already.
Yeah.
There's nothing new about that. Okay, yeah, see, why is it showing that? I don't want that.
Technology wins already.
Oh, what the hell?
There's nothing new about that.
Okay, yeah, see, what is happening right now?
Technology wins.
Why are you... What is this? No, I didn't say to go. I did, but I didn't. God damn it. Son of a bitch.
It's always fun being on this show.
Why? Because I get my ass kicked by fucking technology all night?
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhat. But it's also, it's a fun show.
Oh. Okay, I'm retarded. I was like, where is the fucking voice coming from? And it's my phone. Okay. We're good. I'm all turning shit down and everything.
Bro, could you imagine, like, the army giving Jekyl one of those, like, new exosuits? Trying to figure out how to work that thing.
It would be all fucked up. Where's my button? Oh, it's on this goddamn monitor again.
What does this button do? Injects himself with a shit ton of morphine.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on, but I feel great.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go and put the word out on Twitter Sphere and IG and shit that we're rolling, and then we'll get started. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, Jekyll's got to go post to Twitch, Ace.
You know,
Do what you got to do, man. I got work here.
I gotta do my Twitch.
Oh, let's see, where's that porn file at?
And that right there is why I do not share my screen with y'all. So y'all can take killer shit. Nope. Hard pass on that one. You're gonna find all my porn.
I don't
Speaking
know.
of which, it looks like you're sharing your screen right now.
Well, I mean, so
That
y'all
would-
can actually like click on shit. No.
Oh.
I hide all the stuff. Did y'all be
Made that
clicking on
mistake
shit?
once.
Yes, I did. I think with Swayze actually.
Yeah. Oh, it's good times.
What am I doing? I forgot. Oh yeah. Dooba-dooba-doo. Episode 3 promo. We're actually spelt Riviera correctly this time. Good shit.
Riviera.
I gotta go to a previous tweet so I don't have to retype all that
I remember the first episode. He was like, "This is the longest title I've ever had."
shit. Fuck yeah, dude, that thing was long as
Mainly
fuck.
because of my name.
Yeah, that's the bad part. When I try and do any of the fucking episode titles, I have to delete shit because your name is goddamn long.
I told you, you can shorten it to Jay the Redneck.
Yeah, but will people know who you are if I do that?
Most.
Like Gollum.
Fuck off.
Let's see, I gotta delete 3 characters. Let's see, 1, 2,
I'm
and
gonna-
the period's gone.
I'm gonna
out a comma.
Undertaker choke slam you one day, Hayden. Just
You don't
saying.
break your back.
Wait a minute, that's the wrong goddamn tweet.
My bag's better than yours.
It's pretty good.
My bag's better than your bag.
And Wickster, DHayden, Swayze, and Jeff.
Good job.
Yeah. My name is Jeff.
What the hell am I doing here? Oh, fuck. Oh, no, there it is. Found it. Boom.
Do-do-do.
And
Give
Jeff.
Jekyll look against technology.
Hey man, I'm getting better, I think. Ish. Like, maybe. I say that as I lose my fucking little cursor thing on screen too. Special guest.
Well, I
can
just
actually
wouldn't
put that
like
in
the stream.
Alright, there we go. Special guest. We got DHayden. Oh, of course I'm gonna run out of goddamn
Let me go
characters.
share.
Son of a
Alright,
bitch.
I gotta figure out a different system here.
Yeah, I'm getting rid of Riviera. And it might save me some. Get rid of that. Alright. Special guest. DHayden. We got Wickster. We got Swayze. And I'm not going to put you, Mad Hatter, because you just kind of show up and shit. You're like a permanent special guest. You're like a special needs type of special guest.
I want my helmet. You promised me a helmet and crayons.
Well, blame China. They're holding the shit up, man. I can't import or export because of China, because of COVID.
Buy American, you prick.
Fuck no, it's cheaper in China. It's safer in America, but cheaper in China. So which one do you think I'm going to go with? It's not my head in the damn thing.
Cheaper.
Mad Hatz is only here to
Whoa,
keep track
whoa.
of how many wins technology has and losses Jekyll has.
Hey, man, if
Would
it's
you-
good
whoa,
enough
whoa.
for government work, we're
Sheer
good.
roboto at the beginning.
Yeah, that was painful
Oh.
to listen to be honest.
Am I still roboting?
Not as bad.
No.
Okay.
Alright, cool.
Check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
You're good.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Cool.
Boom. Okay, shit's tweeted. Let's get this
Oh,
party
yeah.
rolling, I think. Maybe.
And I've sent a link to the Discord that I'm part of.
Yeah, I forgot to do that, but you're in my Discord, so fuck it, that works.
You know, I didn't send it to yours yet, but if you want me to, I will.
Yeah, might as well. Less shit I gotta do, right?
Yep.
Okay, why in the hell is it doing that? I don't get it. What is this? What button is that? Black
How
or
much of a
black?
delay do we got? Like 30 seconds?
I don't know. But it's showing this entire screen, so why is... What the fuck is happening right now?
Technology is winning.
Yes, it is, actually. Very badly.
And when isn't it?
What in the shit biscuit?
I can never find your reaction channel.
If you do hashtag Jekyll Reacts, you'll find it. If you don't put the hashtag, you will not find it.
Yes, you
Yeah,
will.
'cause-
You just type in Jekyll, the way it's you spell it, and then when Google or YouTube pops up all the searches, it'll bring up the incorrect spelling, and you have to click search for this instead, and then it'll pop right up.
Yeah, if you
Bro,
if
you
you
completely cut out.
That, no, that's giving me the actual spelling. Like, it's. Did you mean the right one? Like, the wrong one? Fuck off.
Well, the other thing is the way I do it is if you're subscribed to his channel and you go to your subscription tab,
Yeah, that's the best
across
way to do
the top it has all the
Oh,
people you're
shit, there it
subscribed to,
is.
and you can click on it.
Yeah, there you guys go.
boom.
it. Yeah, that is the easiest way to do it. Unsubscribe. I had a hard time finding them because it just sent me to the Five Finger Death Punch Jekyll and Hyde song.
That's
Yeah,
what it
man,
does
like,
to me
yes.
most of the time. I'm like, hell yeah, I'll rock out, but not right now.
Well, whenever I can't find somebody, that's what I do. Is if I know they've got a reaction or a song, I'll go to that, and then I'll click on their page from that.
I don't know what's happening right now.
Man, oh man.
That's how
I don't
that's
think
how.
any of us were.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, that's how I used to find Nefarious' page a lot of the times.
Yeah, his is hidden too for some reason.
God, I would have loved to have been there when they were teaching Jekyll how to use a fucking radio.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
man.
shit.
Oh wow, dude, that brings back some memories.
Yeah.
The little black box. Plug it in.
Oh man.
Alright, whatever.
Hey, there we go. Check that shit out. We got it.
Yeah, those big ass personnel radios, like the 8-foot long antenna sticking off your back.
Yeah, you're supposed to stick your tongue in that hole and get it all going. If it gives you a light zap, you're good. All right, we ready to start this fucking thing? Now that we've been live streaming for like 10 minutes now.
We've
Yeah,
been
let's
ready.
go.
Yeah.
All right, here comes the intro, and then we will get this going. Play, bitch.
The show will start soon. Thank you for being here.
Oh, why aren't you playing? What the hell's happening?
Nothing.
Now it's playing. Well, no, it's not.
That was probably the fastest slideshow I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, I wish all RV slideshows were like that.
There we go.
There.
Do you have the slide on repeat? No, there you go.
No,
Yeah,
it doesn't have any fucking volume for some reason. I don't know why, but whatever. Shit's not supposed to work right, goddammit.
Hell no.
Alright, everybody. Let's do this shit. Welcome to our fucking, with that being said, episode 3. Today we're going to have a veteran. We're going to have a active duty personnel dude. We're supposed to have an Aussie fireman, but I think he's still sleeping. I don't know where fuck Jeff went. And then we got, what else? We got a I don't know if it's Army brat. Are you an Army brat or are you just a military brat? What are you?
Air Force brat.
Air Force brat. We were trying to get a military spouse, but none of the spouses wanted to be on a live program because they didn't feel comfortable. So it is what it is. But first up is our special guest. We're going to get to know him a little bit before we jump into all these subjects. Mr. Wickster, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, man? I'm doing awesome. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing peachy, man. I'll let you know in about a week or so after the elections get counted if I'm still doing good or not. But with that being said, I'm gonna put this thing out there to everybody who's listening. We're gonna do a little disclaimer. We're gonna try and stay away from politics as much as possible because we do have an active duty dude here, and when we're on active duty, we're not really supposed to engage in political talk on events or news or anything else unless you first clear it with your PAO representative, which he has not done. So we're gonna not get him in trouble as much as possible. So with that being
As
said,
much as possible.
Wickster, what was your job while you were serving in the military? And I'm guessing because of Fort Bragg Army, right?
Yep, I was in the Army. I started out 11 Bravo, which is infantry. 11 Bravo, 1 Papa, jumping out of perfectly good airplanes.
You're crazy as shit.
Did 2 tours with the 82nd, one in Afghanistan, one in Iraq. Got hit with an IED in Fallujah, Iraq in 04.
Ooh.
And then, obviously I decided I wanted to get out of the infantry and try something else. So I switched to Apache mechanic and went to Fort Hood. And did not enjoy working on the helicopter, to be perfectly honest with you. It sucked.
Well, as a fellow grunt, my question is this: looking back on it, I love the fact I was infantry, but because now that I'm out, there's no skill in the civilian world that I can do because you're not allowed to shoot people and blow shit up, or you go to jail in the civilian world. So I was thinking maybe go back and be a medic if I could do it again. Would you want to be infantry again, or would you do something else?
I wish I would have stayed infantry if because of the points. The points in the mechanic world.
For people who don't know what they're talking about, or he's talking about, points is promotion points.
Yeah.
You have to
So
get a certain
they're
amount of
really,
points
really
before
high.
you can go E5 and E6 and all that type of stuff, just so everyone knows.
Yep. So they were super high. So I wish I would have stayed in the infantry in that aspect. But if I would have stayed at Bragg, I would have done probably 5 more tours before I got out. So it is what it is.
My first question is actually about Fort Bragg, actually. Well, technically, it's my second because I asked if you would keep doing it. I can't count. Shut the fuck up. Your station, or you were stationed at Fort Bragg, right? Mm-hmm. What is your thought on the Snowflakes wanting to rename that, man?
No, come on, man. No. No.
You don't support renaming Bragg?
No, not at all. There's too much, there's negative history with the name, I guess, which, whatever. But the positive history that has come out of that base is way, way overwhelming compared to the negative from that, in my opinion. And it's historical. Why would you change that? That's just dumb.
Because snowflakes are mad because Bragg used to be a racist slave-owning dude, I guess. I don't fucking know. I don't understand it.
I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, people fear that name. People overseas fear that name. They hear Bragg, they think bearded soldiers, I
think Bragg is the only base or unit or whatever you want to call it that actually has a even reputable fear or whatever you want to call it, a lineage as 101st Airborne. I think those are the only two that are neck and neck as far as everybody knows those two. The 82nd, Bragg.
Well, you got First ID too.
Yeah, I'll give maybe First ID. I don't know.
The Big Red One's got a pretty good rep. So do the Rangers. But
they do, but not as big as Bragg and Campbell.
No, yeah, definitely not. Definitely not. I don't think so. But that's Bragg's mainly because of the special operations. But
yeah, a lot of high-speed soldiers come out of Bragg. That's for sure.
That's all you do. That's all you do is train, and then you train some more, and then after that you're gonna train some more.
Without getting too political and shit, what are your thoughts of the Proud Boys? Because everyone's saying that they're a racist organization, they're extremists, that they're pro-violence, but they're not.
They're a militia.
Do you support them? Do you think they're a good thing? Do you think they need to go away?
Militias are always important. They are our last line of defense between tyrannical government. So militias are very important. I don't support. How do I want to say? I mean, I don't. I'm not against them, but I don't. Do
you condone what they do?
I don't think they did anything wrong. I wouldn't be like, I wouldn't join them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not like.
Yeah. You don't agree with the philosophy, but you don't think that they need to be canceled.
No, because I believe in the philosophy, because I believe in militias. Militias, like in a lot of these cities, that's what should have happened. Though, the militias should have stepped up because the government was failing them and not protecting the citizens, and the militias should have stood up to protect the citizens.
In all honesty, though, the Proud Boys aren't even a militia; they're just a men's group.
Go read
They're just a men's group.
Trained with.
Well,
weapons.
When they were started, I should say. When they started, they were started as a men's group, right, not as a militia. They may have evolved into a militia, but when their first starting and charter was to be a men's group.
I don't know. What does everybody in the chat think? Do you think it's a militia or a men's group? Because I think it started off as a men's group and then it might have evolved into what it is now. But I also don't think they're bad like Antifa. I think they were an answer to Antifa.
Yeah. Yes, I agree with that.
All right, this next question comes from my son. He wants to know, what kind of gun did you have?
M4.
That's what I told him.
All day long, loaded. My M4 was a monster.
Well, I'm just dad. I don't know shit apparently.
Okay. I got a question. I got a question for you. What is your favorite gun you've ever shot, in or out of the military?
Barrett 50 cal.
Oh, you
man.
suck.
Nice.
That's the only weapon I didn't get a fire ever in my career, and it pisses me off.
Next would be the Mark 19.
That thing's fine.
Nice.
See, mine's either the 50 or the 240. I love that
Nice.
240.
I love my saw too. I ain't gonna lie. The saw.
That Mark 19 would be cool.
Mark 19s are awesome to shoot, though.
Dude, the only thing that sucks with the Mark 19 is it's not suitable for close combat. It's more.
Well, I mean,
It sucks, but you do have the saw on the side. When
Well,
you're,
well, I don't know.
when
You
you're Mark
can
19 gun.
you can do a close combat because it has to do a certain rotation before it arms itself and
30.
becomes fucking explosive. So you can tag somebody right in the chest with that bitch and not blow up.
Oh, you could hit it. Yeah, you
you're
could hit him with
brave
it.
enough, yeah.
You could hit him with it, but it wouldn't really do much.
It would knock the fuck
I
out of
mean,
them.
if you were like 5 feet away from a Mark 19, got hit by it, oh, it's
Yeah,
gonna
it
do some
hurt.
damage.
Oh, that blow a hole right through you.
Depending.
It's gonna do some damage.
If it hit you in body armor, I don't think it would do much.
No.
No, I mean if it hits you open skin and like right in the chest and maybe crack your sternum, maybe.
Let's see. Did you have a nickname or call sign when you were in?
Not really.
So you weren't Wickster 1 or anything like that?
No, Wickster came from my last name's Hartwick, so Wickster Hartwick. I just that's actually started in the gaming area in Call of Duty
Oh,
because it's hard to say names like really long when you're in a Call of Duty fight. I guess you got to say something really quick, so it just migrated to Wick.
oh, what was the highest grade you got?
Yeah, I only made E4. That's what I'm saying. When and that's listen to that though. I've never got in trouble, bro. Never got an ARC 15. Never.
I got 2 of them.
All my awards were maxed out. I had 3 tours, a Purple Heart, CIB, Airborne Wings, and I couldn't make E5.
That's insane.
My PT was 280 to 290,
What were the fucking points to make 5? God damn.
798.
Oh, shit.
I had
You got 2 Medal of Honors, but you don't make the cutoff. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
God. Damn.
I had no college. That was the only thing that I didn't have. College.
That's insane, man.
Yeah. Yeah. See, when my dad retired, he was a senior master sergeant, I want to say, or senior chief master sergeant.
Oh yeah, no. If I would have stayed infantry, dude, I'd have been E6 by the time we got back up from Iraq.
Yeah, with 700 points, fuck yeah, that's like 8, 9 status.
Yeah.
Shit.
God, 700, you would have been E7. Mobile to an E8.
Insane. All right. Well, you said you were deployed, Afghanistan or Iraq or both.
Both.
All right. What was your opinion of the ANA? For those who don't know, Afghan National Army.
Well, both
God.
of them. The INA too. They both sucked. I gotta be honest with you. I never liked when they would bring them on base, ever. The whole time out of all 3 tours, I'm like, why are you bringing these people on here?
Fucking, you can't trust them, man.
No, it's just, and then I guess you got to in some cases, but no, but they had like workers, that would come on and be on there all
Yeah,
day.
the people
like,
that sell you DVDs and shit.
right, them guys.
Yeah.
And then they mark mortar locations, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Let's see.
yeah, I never liked that. But,
All right. All right.
I mean, it depends, man. If they're
I got 3 more questions.
Group, I guess.
3 more questions, and then we'll get to the next guy. So I don't take up all this time on like a whole interview type thing.
Gotcha.
I was wondering.
I just want the listeners to, if they don't know who Wickster is, he's a good dude. I've known him for about a year almost, maybe a little bit more. And some people might not know who the fuck you are. So when we do get to the topics at hand, they might know that you are knowledgeable because of who you are.
Right. Gotcha.
Right.
All right. What was the worst firefight you were ever in?
That's a good one. It would have been right around when they captured Saddam, because we were in Fallujah, and I don't know if y'all know this, but all of his guard, his Republican guard,
Mm-hmm.
they all went to Fallujah. That's where they all went to. And actually, ISIS formed in Fallujah.
Mhm.
But it would have been they caught Saddam and they didn't believe that he was real. They thought it was an imposter. They thought it was fake. So they rioted. And have you ever seen Black Hawk Down? Obviously, I'm sure all of you have.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was, dude. They were burning tires in the streets, blocking off roads.
Well, I guess
And
they.
it was
I guess they got a
18
new,
hours.
what is it called? The National Geographic is putting out a new Black Hawk Down type of thing, but not as a movie. It's more of a. They're talking to the real people who are on the
Chaplain.
ground, and it's going to be like a real documentary type thing. I want to see that motherfucker.
I met the chaplain, dude, the main character.
Yeah.
He turned into a chaplain. He was a chaplain at Bragg when I was there.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Nice.
he's a badass.
Those guys would be fun.
Were you married when you were deployed?
Oh my goodness, bro. Yeah, I got married.
Oh.
I got married right after airborne school. Now I got married September 8th, 2001. Think about that real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
2 days before the 11.
Damn.
I got married September 8th, 2001. I arrived at Bragg, my first duty station, September 10th
Oh shit.
at 11:30 at night.
Shit.
And for those who don't know, where is Fort Bragg? For those who don't know.
North Carolina. And my wife was in Michigan. I left her here. I came back from basic and airborne school, got married, and then went straight to my duty station. And 9/11 happened, obviously, the next morning when I was on detail. And then, dude, at that time, the base was walk-on. You could just walk on the base. The taxi driver drove me right to division.
What the fuck?
No problem. That day, the next day, everything was locked down. They had fucking Humvees with Mark 19s and tow missiles on the street, blocking the streets off, and then we were blocking and guarding, soft targets in the base.
Yeah, a lot of shit changed that day.
Oh yeah, dude. That's when they came out with the gates. They started putting fences up around all the bases and putting gates in.
All right, Mr. Swayze, your turn there, brother.
Hey, what's up?
What was your job, sir?
Oh, I was an artillery reservist with the Canadian Forces.
And what does that mean?
That means I'm a part-time guy that gets to shoot the big bangies a far ways.
So, is that the equivalent of our mortarmen?
No, we're like actual field artillerymen, like so shooting.
Oh, okay. The big ass.
We
155s?
had 105 millimeter.
Oh, 105s.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what's the difference between Canadian and U.S.? Like, is there a big difference in what you guys do as opposed to us? How you train, shit like that?
U.S. is better.
America.
Shots fired.
Hayden loves the Canadian military.
It's a big difference. We're not as specialized, right? Everybody kind of learns how to do every job.
So everyone's basically infantry.
Well, at the core, yeah.
Well, I say
mean,
that
that's the
because
whole
That's
point
ours
of it,
too.
right?
I say that
That's ours
because
too.
infantry is basically you do every job. They call it the jack of all trades because we do everything.
Oh yeah.
Like what are you guys' deployment cycles? Are they a year like ours are, 15 months?
No,
Are
they
you
were
pussified like the
doing-
Marines and do 6?
3 to
I think
6,
they
I
were
think.
doing 6 months. Yeah.
Yeah, 3, 6, I think. I remember, if I remember correctly.
I don't know anybody that did 3.
That might have been Australia. Australia might have been
I think
3.
The special guys probably did 3.
Well, do you guys, like when you were deployed, have you deployed
I
anywhere?
didn't deploy. No.
Oh, so you have no opinion on the Afghan National Army then?
No, I do not.
Why do you have such a thing?
You'll see. I got this whole thing mapped out because I've taken a lot of criticism for episodes 1 and 2, because
Oh.
I have, this whole thing is about veterans and thank you for your service. Yeah, right. And I would always go off the rails so fucking bad that we wouldn't even remember what our topic was supposed to be.
Right. So we're not being structure.
I'm trying to structure this thing a little bit. It's working well so far.
It's playing such a big part in this. So, like,
And he brought me in as co-host because I was actually keeping him kind of on topic most times.
Yeah, and he actually knew what the hell was going on most of the time, so I was lost as usual. Do you guys have any type of we have the VA and all of our benefits and all that type of shit? Do you guys have anything like that set up in Canada?
Yeah, we do. It's all volunteer run type unit that we have. And then we have, I don't remember what it's called, but I still get email from them every day.
But you don't know what it's called.
No, I can't remember.
All right.
Hold on.
He'll go look up his email.
I was going to say, pull up an email right now.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'd never.
Dang, so your guys' VA actually approaches you guys?
To hear you. So come here to listen.
Well, it's not it's a whole.
It's like you're faster than
Yeah, there's lag.
It's like a support network type thing, right?
But do you get doctors and shit, or is everyone just kind of helping each other out? What the fuck's going on?
Oh no, yeah, they got doctors on regular force guys have they have doctors and everything.
Okay. Do you guys get a check every month if you guys are all fucked up?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of like the VA. Yours probably just doesn't suck more dick than my ex does.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Well, the other thing is with Canada, most stuff is socialized anyway, so they have a more proactive stance on everything.
No, that's right. You guys are government mandated healthcare, huh?
Yeah, and that has its benefits, but I mean, obviously it's free. But it also has its disadvantages for sure too.
Well, eventually it will crumble.
I mean,
Well, that's,
Yeah.
how
It'll
long
run
does
out
it
of
take
money.
you go to the
Well, the
ER,
other
how
thing-
long does it take you to see a doctor?
Damn near a month, 2 months to get into my VA anyway.
Who's playing football that day?
Yeah, and I'll go into it. Yeah, yeah.
Well, if Biden gets in, I guess we'll find out firsthand how socialized medicine is. But
Okay, we're gonna veer off that track.
I'm getting off the political thing because see, I'm a veteran. I can say what I want. You can't. So instead of you having to be quiet the whole time, I'm just gonna not talk about it. I just might throw shots here and there.
I mean, I had different experience with the VA than you did, though. So my opinion's a little different too. So
And see, that's the good thing though, because
I have a problem.
I can see what my VA here in Colorado is like, and you can tell me what one that doesn't suck is.
right. Well, I mean, and that's what Trump was trying to do when he tried to fix. He made it so where you can fire some of them doctors that were in charge.
Good.
What 3 was that? That was the first thing he did, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was one of the first things he
yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Made it so you could fire people in the VA because it was so diplomatic before, which was the big problem.
It was bad, and now it's getting a little bit better. But we'll get into VA here in a minute.
Well, now it's more state.
All right.
Now it's more state. That's why.
Yeah.
So it's still the VA here, and it actually goes with the RCMP too. They get the VA as well.
Oh, okay. So you guys have is it our VA? Do we share one, or is it y'all's own?
No,
thing?
this should be.
Oh, thank God.
It's better. It's under the Canadian government.
Oh, my God.
CVA.
That.
All right, Mr. Hayden, buddy.
I mean, yeah, it's
Yes,
Veterans
sir.
Affairs Canada. Veterans Affairs Canada back, so it's gotta suck.
How long you been in there, Hayden?
Oh, man. 8 years. Joined end of 2013, early 2014. Joined when I turned 17. I'm 11 Bravo. Obviously, it's the way to go.
Hells yes. Are you a E5, 6?
5.
I'm gonna have to fix your cartoon then, 'cause that's 6.
Yeah, that is. Currently over here at Fort Jackson, 13.
Relaxing Jackson. Is it still relaxing?
No, it's like imagine waking up and just like getting punched in the dick every day.
That's called the U.S. Army.
Yeah,
It is. Big green weenie, man.
yeah. No, you can't say anything good.
I'm assuming that you've deployed since you've been in that long. Yeah. Anyone who's been in the Army for more than a fucking 6 months is deployed.
Oh yeah. No, 2 tours to Iraq, both a year.
You still have Swayze up.
Long.
What?
What about Swayze?
No,
I said you still have Swayze's picture up.
Hayden's up on mine.
Oh, well,
Yeah, it's up on
maybe I
mine.
need to refresh.
Yeah, you're behind.
Yeah, you're fucking up there.
Your shit, Kobe.
Okay, well.
Okay, so you deployed
There we
twice.
go.
Iraq.
Yeah.
Iraq National Army. You like them?
Or Afghanistan.
Okay.
What if I said Iraq?
So ANA, do you like them? You ever
Oh,
had
God,
any
no.
good experiences with those fuckers?
No. Other than messing with them, no. Seriously, it's pretty sure it's the same story across the board. The second the fight breaks out, or even just a few pop shots, they turn tail and run.
Yep. They're.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Go for it.
It just kind of popped in my head. So you were in both administrations then? You've seen both sides of it from the military
Yeah.
standpoint. Do you have not okay? Don't want to get political, but like the stance on the two.
Obama sucked.
Not really that. Not what I'm saying. Like as far as your status in the Army and how you're taken care of between the two.
Yeah, that changed it all with Trump.
So,
Did it?
man, I'm like,
Was there a difference? Was there a difference?
a little bit, but not much. Honestly, I was treated better when I was in the infantry than I am as a drill.
Well, they changed the rules on drill though. You can't even yell at the motherfuckers. You can cuss and you can't shark attack. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the shark attack he bitched about too.
Now, see, I don't think that's the president, in my opinion.
No, that's not. Believe it or not, that was an infantry sergeant major that made that change about the shark attack.
What the fuck?
That's ridiculous.
This has been coming for a few years now, though, hasn't it?
Well, no, I didn't think it was going to be to that scale though, because when I cycled through basic training in 2006, that's when they came out with that stress card idea. And my drill sergeants told me straight up, if anyone tries to pull that stress card, he would shove it up our ass and piss on our dead bodies. And then, so they didn't care. They didn't really enforce it. But now I guess they're like, one of my buddies is a drill sergeant, and he cussed at somebody, and he got in his face and yelled at him, and he was sent home. It's what the fuck?
Because like I went through basic, I don't know, 7 years ago. And they're talking about how it was a new army then. And we're still getting yelled at, of course. So
Well, it all of downhill kind of started. Okay, I joined in 01, and it was still pretty brutal, aside from, hitting you. Like it was still pretty brutal. The basic training was, and it was so brutal that they had an investigation on Benning, the cycle that was after mine. And then that's when all of that stuff with the stress card and like not being able to smoke people started. And then they took I think the biggest problem that they did was take away the shining boots. and pressing uniforms. I think that was the biggest mistake in the military, in my opinion.
That happened like right as I got in for us. We got brown boots a lot later than you guys did.
See, what a lot of civilians don't understand is boot camp is designed to break you down.
Exactly.
So that they can build you back up
Well, that was
to be a
actually
better
gonna be-
soldier.
That's going to be my question. Now, do you think how aggressive should it be?
Should be really aggressive.
If I'm being honest, they meet out at Jackson because let's be honest, everyone that comes to Jackson's a bunch of pokes and they're worthless.
Yeah, relaxing Jackson.
When you're at Benning and stuff like that, like I fully believe a drill sergeant should be able to grab you, freaking like Batista bomb you right there on the cement, and then just start wailing on you if he wants.
And for those who don't know, Benning is where infantry goes to train.
Right.
But like,
I'm in agreement with this. Like you're training people to go out and fucking kill people. They gotta be tough.
Well, how are people gonna cry and complain and shit because he was mean and he yelled at me, motherfucker? You're gonna go to war and get shot at by the enemy who don't give a fuck about your feelings.
We had
There's no
woodline.
safe spaces in a foxhole.
Exactly.
We had woodline training. We would go in the woodline where nobody was.
Yep. We had that too.
Yep. I don't know. I think the military has become a cartoon pussified version of itself because it went from they could smack the shit out of you if you did something wrong to now they can't even smoke you unless they do the PT with you.
I can tell you this. I can tell you this right now. If you were to go to Bragg, it's not like that. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah.
Not like what, the pussified version or the old version?
Oh no, it's the old version.
Good. That's the way it should be.
They don't, dude. That's special operations. They don't fuck around. They're not playing any fucking games. You go there, you're gonna listen, or you're not.
Yeah.
See
You know what I'm saying?
that's what I give the Marines credit for. Is they still treat you like a fucking Marine, not a kindergarten class.
No, they'll break
Well,
you.
see-
Yeah, Bragg, dude.
Well, see, I blame Hollywood for the pussification of the military because of all the movies that came out about people dying and how terrible boot camp was when
Full Metal
millions
Jacket.
of people have gone through it.
Hollywood's to blame for a lot.
Yeah,
Like
for every one person that has a Full Metal Jacket incident, there's hundreds of thousands that go through boot camp and are fine.
so,
I
all right.
mean, there's balance, but like
Jekyll and Wickster.
Yes,
I know
sir.
you guys know it. When you guys
they
went
gotta
through,
want to be there.
when you guys went through OSID at Benning, right?
Yep.
Remember how the drills used to walk into the squad bays with a big old metal trash can and
Oh, I
throw them down?
fucking hate
and
that
all
thing.
stuff?
He had this bat
can't
that he
do
would
that
stick
anymore.
inside of it and then beat it around in there first and then
Yeah.
throw it across the room.
You can't do that. They
anymore.
can't. They
Why?
can't do that in Benning.
Can't do
Are
that
you sure they
Benning,
don't?
Jackson,
Are you sure they're not doing it at Benning?
100%.
Wait,
You're sure?
wait. What is it making people too stressed out to wake up to a loud noise?
So what happened, and what's funny is on my first cycle here, I actually did this to a kid. But what kept happening is complaints were coming in that these kids were, up outside their bunks, after hours when they're not supposed to be, and walking. It's pitch black when you go in there. You can't see anything.
Yeah.
Walking up and down the squad bay, and out of nowhere they just get freaking clotheslined by a metal trash can. I'm not even kidding. Literally.
I mean, you shouldn't have been walking around when you weren't supposed to be. You're supposed to be
Yeah,
in bed.
no, that's totally their fault.
Dude, it was seriously my first cycle as a drill. Literally, like the first day I ever woke anyone up, I did that. Like, Cave brought it in. Like, I had a cast iron pan in there. I was beating the hell out of the trash can, closed the lid, and threw it. And I fucking nailed this kid. I mean, like, it hit him dead on, and the trash can took him with it.
That was funny.
Wow.
Damn.
Laid his ass out.
Fucking people.
Well, if he wasn't asleep, he's asleep now.
Oh, yeah.
I have a question for all y'all that are in the military. My brother told me a story when he went through boot camp. He ended up getting medically discharged out. But he said when he was in boot camp, they had a thing where they were in their barracks or something like that, and they would be forced to do push-ups, and the instructor would shut all the windows and doors, turn the heater on, and make it to where it would get so hot it would start raining.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It would do that anyway, even without, dude. You could have the windows open, and it would be, dude. It would be.
Dude, I made the fucking mistake of going to Fort Benning, Georgia in July. So yeah, it was a lot.
I did the same thing. Real quickly, I just realized I didn't list my schools: Airborne, Sniper, and Ranger School.
Nice. You're.
Yeah, I remember somebody telling me a story about being involved in one of the scenes in the Chris Kyle documentary.
I was in Fallujah when Chris Kyle was in country.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Not us.
Wasn't it you that was telling me about there was a scene in the Kyle movie where your group was the one that he was
we
covering?
were in the area that he was covering. We were in the area.
Yeah.
He wasn't covering us, but he was.
Oh, okay.
He was.
I just remembered the story, and I just had to ask about it because I remembered it from so long ago. It was almost a year ago now.
Better remember than me. You could have told me that story yesterday, and I totally forgot.
In the I think it's in his first deployment that he goes over there, and you'll see like there's that church. There's a church, and it's got purple heads on the top of 4 towers with a purple roof.
Mm-hmm.
That's the scene I'm talking about.
Okay.
Like, when I was in theater, I was like, what the? I was there. And it was the same time frame. It was crazy.
For mine, real quick, I'm just going to run through it real quick. Not going to get too into depth. 101st Airborne Division, my entire career. I was in 3rd Platoon Weapons Squad of Easy Company 2506. 4 BCT, which is the Band of Brothers, if you guys have seen that show. I'm sure everybody in this chat has seen the show, but anyone watching, Band of Brothers was on HBO. It was a special that covered my division and specifically my company through World War II, and it's an excellent movie. Excellent. I don't know if would you call it a movie or a show. It was a series, but it was more like a movie.
Documentary.
Shamovi.
And I heard they're coming out with Band of Brothers 2. It's like, how can you make what?
Yeah.
That doesn't even make sense.
I don't know.
Wait, what?
They're making Band of Brothers 2. How can you make a sequel about an actual event?
No, I don't know.
I don't know.
Unless it's a following of the platoon as it
Maybe
evolved.
in like Afghanistan or Iraq or something like that.
If they haven't contacted me, be like, hey, you want to be in my movie and tell me your story? Because everybody knows I did some heroic shit.
Well, Band of Brothers was from World War II. It might have been from a group that went through Nam.
That is true. I don't know what they're...
You gotta wait another like 60 years before they ask you.
before they ask me my story.
I mean, if they were going to do Band of Brothers 2, I would say they should focus on Korea, which was right after. That would be my guess.
I think they should make an actual movie, not just a documentary with an actual real-life shot video from the cop, but Restrepo. That would be a badass movie.
Restrepo was dope.
I don't think they put 82nd in that movie enough. But to be fair, 82nd doesn't do that. So it is what it is.
What about Restrepo?
And on the Band of Brothers,
No,
I
82nd doesn't
Band of
talk
Brothers.
about their mission.
Oh,
They don't. It isn't a thing. When you go on mission, you're given the brief and everything is burned. It's done. You know, so, like there's nothing after that. Don't talk about it.
let's see. I was deployed twice in
It's like
Afghanistan.
Fight Club.
All that type of shit. I hate the ANA with a passion, and I hate the VA. There's my story. Jay, your turn, buddy. What's up with you?
Yay!
Wait a
Well-
minute. No. I got to know
Wait,
your
yeah.
infatuation with this.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
got to. You can't just stop there. That's
We'll,
not how
we'll,
this
we'll get in. We'll get into it. I just want to get everyone introduced first.
Wait. Let me say one thing. All the heroic shit, Jekyll's done with Easy Company 100 first. Thank you for your service.
Well, hey, you're welcome. I was like Superman, that bitch. Goddammit! I saved everybody. Table salt. Jay, how long did you serve,
Where's the
man?
mic gonna get? This
I
whole
just saw
story
your
with the-
thumbnail. I saw your thumbnail, you bastard.
Jay from Fort Couch. He's a couch commando, master of the AK-40 clicker.
That's getting a screenshot.
That's funny as hell. But yeah,
How
my
long
dad
did you
was
serve
22
in that?
years Air Force.
How long did you serve in Call of
I
Duty?
didn't. I didn't serve. I don't play Call of Duty. My dad was 22 years Air Force, and I lived the military lifestyle as a GI brat. Yes, we call ourselves GI brats as a badge of honor because we lived the lifestyle without actually being military.
And how many times did you have to move in your dad's career?
Oh, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9 times in 20
Sorry,
years?
Like us.
Hey, it's
In
Jeff.
22
What's up,
years.
bud?
9 times in 22 years.
I mean, dude, the funny thing is I had a similar experience when I was in my childhood without being in the military, so I kind of grasp. Not having like a core group of friends that you grew up with, it's weird.
Oh yeah,
It's got to be
That's the
hard.
hardest-
kid.
that's the hardest part about growing up as a GI brat is you usually are at a place for 2, 4, maybe 6 years, but usually not longer than that.
Yeah, I think I moved.
Making friends is really hard, but when you do, they tend to be really close friends that you stay in contact with as much as possible.
I think I moved like 8 times before I was 9 or something like that.
Yeah, I was born on military base in Minot, North Dakota. I don't remember any of it because we moved like when I was still like 1 or 2, but we lived in New Jersey while my dad was stationed in Turkey and Thailand during Vietnam. He actually volunteered so that he wouldn't get drafted and did not go to Nam. Instead, they sent him to Turkey and Thailand.
Dude, I swear, people are going to think me and you like quarterback these questions out, you being the co-host, because my next question is, what was life like during deployments? And you're answering the goddamn question before I ask
Oh
it.
man.
Every
man,
episode so far, you've
We're
been
in
like that.
Thailand.
Oh,
It-
it was Air
It
Force.
was odd because for the first half of my life, I barely knew my father. I didn't really see him, but maybe, a couple of months a year because he was deployed. And then whenever he came home, all I knew was when he came home, he had gifts. And I was like, wow, it's like Christmas.
Right.
What was life like when he did finally come home, though? Like, what was the adjustment like, having your dad finally back and in your life full time?
It was odd because we lived basically like a single parent family for so long with my mom raising us and everything. But when my dad was home, it was strict and we listened. And as I told Jekyll in a TM, making a quarter bounce off your bed when you make it is bullshit. My dad was old school military.
How much do you think FaceTime would have, like, you would have been
Right.
able to FaceTime with your
Oh,
dad
no.
when he's on deployment?
That would have been so much better because
I
we would
don't know.
actually made more of a connection.
I gotta be honest with you though. I mean, I kind of think sometimes it's worse. Like I'm gonna be all right. So when I was in the infantry, right, and I was
Mhm.
deployed for the first 2 deployments, dude, I got the phone like maybe,
Yeah.
like once every couple weeks, right? But when I was in division headquarters for the 3rd deployment, dude, I had access to the phone. It was there. I could call anytime I wanted, and it sucked.
Yeah, daytime there is nighttime here.
Now,
I really did.
That's
Now,
from
when
the
my-
perspective of being on deployment, though. But
yeah,
like,
and
from
now,
the perspective
now
of
also-
a kid growing up.
Right.
now also, when my dad was deployed over in Turkey and Thailand, it was during the times where there were no cell phones. It was all landlines connected to the wall and everything. So he actually would send reel-to-reel tapes talking to us and saying things and we would spend, hours when the mail came in sitting down and listening to these tapes. And when it was personal stuff, my mom would be like, all right, you guys go play. I'm going to listen to this. And we'd come home afterwards and see mom sitting there crying and wonder what was going on. But it was all the lovey-dovey stuff that, adults would talk to each other about.
Right. Well, and then the thing is like I was saying, when it's minuscule like that, it's actually, I think, better because you're more focused when you get that. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna focus on. But like when I had it every day, I'd call my wife just out of the blue and she'd be sleeping, but it was because and I'd already talked to her like a couple hours earlier. You know what I mean? And it was
I could see that.
And it would get where you're not talking, you're just sitting there. You know what I'm saying? So
During my
Just in
second
their presence, right?
During my second deployment, my wife at the time actually told me to call her less. I was like, what the fuck? She was having a 6-month-long affair at the time, so I understand now. But she actually told me to call less. Who tells their deployed-ass husband to call less?
Right.
Just start calling more. Fuck, I'd be so...
The funny thing is, my baby brother was born 9 months after my dad had come home for R&R and then went back for deployment.
Oh, damn, I bet that caused some hell. There were some questions on that motherfucker, wasn't there?
No. What it was he came home and they calculated when she said that she found out she was pregnant, that it was exactly during the time he was home.
Well, they do say that there is research and study and science and shit now that soldiers that go home on R&R or right after they get back from deployment actually have a higher sperm count because their adrenaline has been running so long for so hard and they're around a bunch of dudes. So that makes them more fertile.
Well, that and my parents were high school sweethearts that my dad knew my mom's brothers before he ever dated her.
Oh, damn.
So, yeah, they've been in love together for 50 years now. They just had their 50th wedding anniversary.
This might be a hard question to answer, but with your dad being gone so much and coming and going out of your life, basically, did it like when you're going through high school and having girlfriends and friends and stuff, did it lead to abandonment issues with you?
Not necessarily. With me though, I was that kid that I never really knew what my dad did when I was younger, when he was like deployed overseas and all that. So I would always make up the stories of, oh well, I think he was CIA or something like that. But I found out he was just an MP later on in life. But I never really talked about what my dad did because he never really talked to me about what he did.
Most don't. Most
yeah.
don't.
Yeah. So I was that kid that when, father-son things come up and my dad was deployed, I was like, oh, well, he worked for the military and he's not here. So my mom would either sit in or I would have a friend or an uncle that happened to be in town or whatever do the father-son stuff with me.
Yeah, I bet that was tough on both you and him.
Oh yeah, it was tougher on him, but I was used to it by then. Like when I was in middle school, I played football, and I actually told my parents that I didn't want them coming to my games because I was more distracted. by them being there because I wanted to do so well in front of them. And
Oh,
That,
right.
that makes
I
sense.
was, and when I was, yeah, when I was young playing t-ball and my dad would be home, I would be like, I really don't want y'all there because I want to do well and I suck at sports.
Well, now that we've been talking for about an hour, let's get into the show. What do you say?
Right.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Topic number 1.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be playing a song right now, but it's not. And I don't know why.
No, VA topic.
Oh, damn.
We got.
Sorry.
Oh,
Here we go.
All right. Number 1 we're going to be talking
Sorry, I'm
about
late,
is... Oh, you're good, Jeff. We figured you were sleeping.
That's exactly what I was fucking doing.
The VA, it's no secret with me having the song Fuck the VA out that I'm not a fan of the VA. And this right here is why.
Not many people in the military are.
Well, this right here is the main reason, is the claim process. The time frame of this fucking thing. Okay, this is what happens. The veteran gets out of active duty, and about a week later, he goes and puts in his paperwork and goes and meets up with his representative to claim all of his disabilities and tell him what the fuck's wrong. It is at least 9 months until they give you a date for an evaluation, and a doctor to evaluate you and tell you how fucked up you really are. And then 12 to 8. Who the hell is eating Cheetos?
Not me.
I can't.
12 to 18 months later, you get your first claim decision, whether it's approved or denied. If it's denied, it's 12 to 18 more months for an appeal.
Mm-hmm.
And then the burden of proof is on the soldier, is on the veteran, to prove that it was a service connection disability and that you are fucked up. It's on the veteran, not the hospital. They don't err on the side of, give them the benefit of the doubt. You have to prove the shit. And then if it's denied again, it's... Yeah, basically. And then at that point, it's 5 to 7 years from that point if you want to take it before the Board of Appeals and have the judge look at it. So that's 9 years total from start to finish before claims are either denied or whatever. And the rate of claim denial in error is 60%. That's ridiculous. And in
I didn't know any of this.
In 2019, the VA only approved 13%, according to the GAO report. That's fucking ridiculous.
I didn't know any of this because with my dad getting out, he just goes to the base and gets seen for anything medical.
Retirement.
But
Yeah.
yeah, he's retired, and the active duty goes first, but he gets in and gets out pretty decent.
Well, for me, I had help, and I went everything first time go, so I really didn't have an issue. I mean, I had Purple Heart backing it up, number one, and then I had the Purple Heart Association helping me with my claim. I had the BFW helping me with my claim, and I had the Disabled American Veterans helping me with my claim. So
DAV is good.
If you get your help and have somebody supporting you, it does help a lot. That is like drastic. The first thing you should do is get involved with like the DAV or the VFW.
Yeah, do not get involved with the DVA though. DVA was fucking ridiculous. There's one DVA, Disabled Veterans of America, instead of Disabled American Veterans. There's one for all of Western Slope, Colorado. So half of our state has to go to one guy. Guess how often he calls you back? Never.
Oh, right.
Never.
So I switched to the DAV guy, and he got my shit approved fucking immediately. So.
Right. I mean, like I said, it's as long as you go in with a plan. I mean, when you get out of the military, you have to have some kind of plan anyway. That's for sure. And if you do get any kind of injury,
document.
copy.
Three of us in here
Duplicate.
all have injuries.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, dude, in my Purple Heart,
Shot
dude,
and blowing up.
my Purple Heart, check this out. I was I got hit with an ID. It was 155, two 155 rounds that went off on a light skinned Humvee, and I woke up inside the truck. I was in the gunner's position.
Mhm.
I woke up inside the truck. So my medic gave me the paperwork and said, "Dude, they're not going to give you a Purple Heart for this, but I believe it's worthy. Hold on to this paperwork." And I kept the paperwork, and when we got back, they didn't give me the Purple Heart when they had the ceremony when we first got back. But then after I got out of school for Apache mechanic and went to first cav, I had somebody tell me that I should have a Purple Heart. And then I sent that paperwork and talked to somebody back at my old unit at Bragg, and they had it there.
See, I got fucked out of my Purple Heart because I turned it down. I was given two choices. I could either stay with my team or I could get my Purple Heart and get sent home.
Mm-hmm.
So as a leader, I was like, okay, this is an easy decision. I'm capable, so I'm going to stay here with my guys.
Why is that? What? That's not even a thing.
Because my first sergeant he was breaking the rules, basically. Our commander told him, do not put anyone out of patrol because we don't have air support to get you out, because what they call the air is red, which means they can't get a medic chopper in there to get anyone who's injured. Mm-hmm. So we're not allowed to go on patrol. And my first sergeant said, fuck that, we're going. And we ended up getting our fucking asses blown up. And he's like, okay, well, you can either get me in trouble, basically, or you can stay here with your guys. If you get me in trouble, you're going home. Was basically what it boiled down to.
Huh.
So, and of course, crazy. Because of that, I have no paperwork to prove this shit happened. It's like, goddamn.
I've got 2 Purple Hearts on my record, but I've gone over 4 IEDs.
God
For
damn.
the IEDs,
you're not riding in my fucking vehicle.
Oh, hey, I wasn't driving each time. I'm just saying, putting that out there.
Yeah, but you're a magnet, apparently.
I'm apparently, bro. It's bad.
God damn.
So I went infantry, so I didn't have to drive around.
Well,
no, it was.
Yeah, I've had nothing but bad shit happen at the VA. Like, they turned my PTSD claim down because they said I didn't have it. And then I got diagnosed by 4 doctors and 2 therapists outside of the VA. And then they said, denied, you have to have a VA doctor diagnose you, which isn't a thing. The DAV guy told me that's not even a rule. So I got diagnosed by a VA doctor and a therapist, treated with medication and therapy at the VA, and then they were like, okay, well, we recognize that you do have it, but it's not service-connected. It's like, what? But they said that I've never had a stressful situation to warrant PTSD with 2 CIB awards and deployed twice as a combat infantryman. It's like,
yeah, I got lucky with that too because I got diagnosed with PTSD in the military while I was still in, so that was a bonus for me as well. So.
That would have been a lot easier, but my unit had a very bad reaction when soldiers went to mental health and got diagnosed with that.
Yeah.
We were stripped of our leadership roles because we can't lead if we're too busy freaking out.
Yeah, that's why I've never gone for mine.
Well, what happened with me is I was in a bad leadership spot. Like, my leadership was not the greatest, and I was E4 because I couldn't make E5, right? But I was in leadership position doing all. Dude, I loaded and unloaded, documented, drew out plans for the whole deployment for division. All the connexes for the division headquarters. There were like 30 of them. I did all the paperwork for it, like as an E4, which is fucking ridiculous, right? Because that's an E6 job.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, I was in a bad spot with them. They were fucking with me. I wasn't getting promoted, so finally I just said, you know what? Fuck y'all. and they tried to give me an Article 15, and I went to the battalion commander and wrote an appeal to the Article 15. And the battalion commander was an infantry guy, and he ended up calling me in. And he said, "What's up with this? This is fucked up. This is not like you. What's going on?" Because I was in the honor guard. And I just told him what happened, and I said, dude, I'm not gonna fucking point fingers or nothing. I just want out. And he's like, all right, well, if you find me a reason, I'll get you out. So I started going to mental health, and boom, PTSD, and boom, got the fuck out.
That's one way to get out.
I have a
I mean, yeah,
question.
Damn.
He said, dude, I'll let you out.
Question. I have a question to all y'all in the military. Your conversation there, what just sparked this?
What's
Do
up?
y'all believe the fact that we're in and are in the military that something that I've always been told that my dad says is the military promotes you to your highest level of incompetence.
I mean,
Sounds like fucking anywhere.
Do I believe that? I believe that basically every person that's higher than you does less work and gets more of the accolades.
Yeah.
right? I believe it's backwards for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, like here's a good example. Me as an E4, I have 3 tours overseas. You have a lieutenant that comes in just out of West Point, and me,
No, don't even start.
and me, right? You have those 2 people. Who should be leading the team? The LT or that E4 with three tours overseas? You see what I'm saying? It should be based more on
Right.
experience than college.
Well,
It's based on college.
I think that you should
Right.
have to go
That's
through the enlisted grades before you can become an officer. Because somebody
I
got
agree
to our
with that.
I
base
agree with that.
when he had like 2 days out of OCS, Officer Candidate School, and he's in charge of me. He comes up to my tower that I just happened to be in. And he's looking through the PVS 14 or PVS 16. I don't remember 14 or 16. The night optic, and he's like, what is this? I'm like, it's an optic, sir. And he's looking through it. He's like, I can't see shit. I'm like, turn it around, sir. He's looking through the wrong fucking end. It's like, and you're in
So-
charge of me.
That's an awesome idea. What it should be technically is, in my opinion, is you come in as a private, no matter what, and then at E4, once you make E4, you should have a career path to pick.
Yep,
Yeah.
Do you want to be enlisted or do you want to be officer?
exactly.
So it would split right there because it splits anyway, right? It
Right.
splits. E1 to E4 is nothing. E5.
Yeah, those are
is where you
automatic.
start- Right. So that should be it.
And I could be wrong, but I believe what my dad told me about the Air Force is there is opportunity once you get up to like senior chief to go to school and then come out in an office.
Well, you can do that with the Army too.
Yeah. You can do that with the Army. You could be a private and go through OCS and come out as a lieutenant.
Yeah, as long as you have a bachelor's, you can become an officer.
Yeah. But like that's the thing is like here's an example when it comes to the officers leading over experience enlisted. First tour, lost 3 guys on my fire team in one firefight because we had this fresh West Pointer come over. Had never even been to Afghanistan. This was literally his second day here. We had already, because he was a replacement, we had already been here for a few months. Firefight broke out, he froze, got 3 guys killed.
Okay.
And kept denying every single call that the sergeants and I was a specialist at the time, the sergeants and the experienced specialists and stuff like that were all telling him what to do. He kept going, no, we're not doing it this, we're doing it this way.
Yep.
And then the second he saw someone drop, he froze and had nothing to say.
Well, it's like on Cop Zurich, that same lieutenant that asked me how the fuck the optic worked. He damn near started a civil war on our base because the A&A kept going under the front gate. We kept telling him, stop doing that shit. We're going to accidentally shoot one of you. And he was up there, and he took a warning shot with the 50 cal at the A&A, and they came in pissed, rightfully pissed, and they almost started shooting us on our own base. So we all had our weapons pointed at each other, ready fucking, we're just standing off. It's like, oh, shit. But nobody got shot.
Yeah, the funny thing is, the more I hear y'all talk about your deployment during the war, it reminds me of a lot of the stories that I've heard from non-vets.
Wait, A&A was in Nam?
Well, they had.
no,
I mean,
no,
bro,
what
they
I'm-
had. They had their own.
A&A's been everywhere for
They had about the same issues.
Oh yeah, no, they had they had what Vietnam Army that we put in place for sure.
Yeah.
Dude, we used to mess with the A&A so much.
It was
Like,
fun.
You guys remember those mortar chalk rounds?
Yep. The cheese wedges?
Send them out. Yeah, we used to send them out past the wire to like go collect water and stuff like that from a well. Dude, we dropped the chalk rounds on them.
Wow. But they did make fucking awesome bread, though. What the fuck?
Dude, they did.
What? You ate their food?
Oh, yeah. Their food was delicious.
Yeah, dude, they're
crazy.
insane.
I wouldn't touch any of their food.
I
I've seen their
horrible,
meat,
but
bro.
man,
Bro,
was that good.
bro, I went on the longest convoy on record at that time. Ground assault convoy, they call it. It was called ground assault convoy. Longest ground assault convoy at the time. We drove down that Russian highway. You know, the one where all the tanks got bombarded and stuck on the friggin' highway through Afghanistan. Yeah. We drove that fucking route.
You're talking about Route Honda?
Dude, this was an 01, so...
Oh, no, Route Honda doesn't.
I mean, 02.
Yeah,
sorry,
that
not
was
02. It was an 02, it's OEF1, so there was no names.
Okay.
It was just... Okay. I mean, any of the bases, we pretty much helped build. But anyway, like, what the hell were we talking about?
We're talking about food.
Oh, yeah.
The food.
No, we were on that convoy. It was the first, like, when we first got to country, man. I'm driving, and on the side of the road is this meat just hanging.
Well, yeah, you don't eat their meat, dude.
Over it.
Yeah.
Flies all over it, dude. I'm like, no, no, bro.
You don't eat their meat, you eat their bread. Their bread is fucking on
I
point,
see the
dude.
same shit when I went to Turkey, man. I didn't eat.
Give me an MRE.
Pretty good lunch.
Real talk. Who remembers the first time they had Afghan tea?
Oh, that shit's delicious,
I didn't
too.
have that either.
Dude,
Have that either.
was your spiked with opium, too?
I believe so.
I didn't touch any of their shit, dude. I stayed away from it. The only thing I did is hash. I did smoke some hash.
No, their bread and their what the hell is that called? That drink that they made all the time. Not the tea, the chai. That shit was fucking delicious, man.
Me and Hayden have had a long talk about MREs.
Dude, like, I didn't touch, like, dude, seriously, it's like every time, like, when we do the meetings with, like, the village elders and stuff, they'd force you to drink tea. It's like every time we do.
Yeah, it's disrespectful not to drink their food and eat, or drink their food, yeah. Eat their food and drink their shit.
I hated drinking the chai and the tea, because it was like every time, dude, I'd be blowing my ass out for the next 2 days.
Bro, I didn't freaking care. You know, dude, this was funny as hell, bro. You guys had seafood and or what the fuck do they call that? Where you had steak and lobster.
Surf and turf.
Surf and turf.
And it was more like leather and dried up pussy. Yeah.
Oh, bro, dude, they brought it. We were in the mountains on the Pakistan border.
Yeah, so wait, where were you? I was too. I was East Baktika.
Koust, Asadabad.
I don't know where the fuck that is, but is that in East Baktika?
Province.
I've been through there.
Yeah, Koust is right on the border. There's a river. There's a river that runs right on the border right there, and we were right on that river, right across from the mountain. Right?
Yeah, our base, we could literally piss over the Pakistan border.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I got lost again.
I saved you once. I don't remember what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah.
That was more than I could actually think I was gonna do. I can't remember shit.
Oh man.
Bread.
Yeah. What?
Pectica.
And tea. It was tea this time.
Tea. Oh yeah, no, the surf and turf.
Oh, that's right. Dried up pussy.
No, well, that's in the middle of nowhere, bro. The Koust is like in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing there. And like
damn sure no water.
Surf and turf, bro. And I'm sitting here like I'm looking at everybody going in there to eat it, right? And I'm like, yo, do you see the fucking ocean?
Yep, I said the same thing.
I can imagine that. I can still imagine that. Wickster standing there going, "Do you see an ocean?"
I said that same thing. We got to the DFAC finally. We were we took a little mini vacation, we called it, but we were still in Afghanistan at war. We just didn't have to be on our little cop. And we actually had a DFAC that wasn't just mermites, which are basically big-ass MREs. And they were like, yeah, we're going to feed you good tonight. How about some surf and turf? And I was like, what the fuck? Where the hell's the ocean? This is a landlocked motherfucker.
Right, bro. They everybody that ate it ended up getting dysentery. I was the only one out of the whole platoon.
Yeah, I wasn't going to eat that
wasn't
shit.
That wasn't puking and shitting.
I tried the steak, but that thing was fucking more than well done. That shit was like leather. That was like a belt. I think I'd rather chew on my belt.
I never touched the surf and turf.
I've got a topic for since y'all did do tours overseas, and my dad did a tour in Japan that we all went with. Culture shock.
You're like roboting the fuck out of this, but
Yeah.
Robot.
Okay. Let's see. Am I any better yet?
yes.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay. I was gonna ask, since y'all did your overseas tours, and my dad had a overseas tour where it was accompanied with us, and we went to Japan. Culture shock.
Mm-hmm.
What was some of your best and worst culture shock moments?
Them shouting from those goddamn mosque every morning and night.
Yeah, dude.
Fucking shut the
get
fuck up! I want
Bro,
to shoot
If
you.
I'm watching a movie and that shit happens in a movie, it gives me chills.
I hate that
Dude,
shit.
Yeah, like other than them shouting from the mosque every morning, like the way I looked at it is like they're shooting at me and I'm shooting back. I don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wasn't too
I think
taken
the
away with their culture. Like it looks exactly like where I'm from in Colorado, with mountains and trees and desert and shit. It looks like exactly here, so it wasn't that big of a difference that way. It's just seeing some red ass beards. I never understood that shit. They like dyed their beard fucking red. It made them look weird as shit. And mascara
I
on
think-
everybody.
Climatizing or whatever, yeah, like getting used to the weather. I think that was the hardest.
That was the
Especially
same.
when you're up in the mountains.
Yeah, well, Iraq was bad too, dude. Going from
Oh, Iraq was
Yeah.
horrible.
dude, when you go from check this out, Jay. Think about this. You go from 140 degrees, the sun goes down and it's 90.
Yeah, it
Now,
was bad.
You're looking at 90 degrees, right? And you're thinking it's 90 degrees, but we're walking around with a fucking sweatshirt on and a fucking blanket because it dropped 50 degrees like that.
Yeah,
Like as soon as the
Yeah.
sun went down.
Yeah, I remember
like
getting
that.
off the airplane in
I can
Kuwait. It was like fucking stepping onto an oven. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Or like
Yeah.
somebody had a hair dryer right in your face.
Yep.
Oh, dude, I hated Kuwait.
Oh, yeah. Man.
Now, see, with me and the culture shock, the strangest thing that I had to deal with when we went to Japan was with their culture. Their public restrooms are like a hole in the ground,
Yeah, that's what ours was in Zurich.
and
We had a pipe.
it's
Yeah,
not a
that-
seat, so that was an interesting thing. And the country over there was beautiful looking at.
I seen that in Italy.
No,
Just
okay.
outside of the
They had that in
Vatican.
Iraq.
Biggest cultural
Yeah.
shock, right? Wasn't them screaming
Mhm.
from the mosque or anything like that. It was the damn camel spiders.
Oh, fuck those things.
Oh,
Oh
fuck
yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
When you're sitting there laying in a sniper's nest and you see one of those motherfuckers moving towards you, I don't
Oh,
care
yeah.
how many fucking Taliban fighters are in front of you.
Yeah,
You're
I'd
fucking
rather-
I'd play the fuck out of there.
I'd rather
No,
fight off
that's
the
the
Taliban
rule.
every day than have to deal with one of those motherfuckers. Nope.
Yeah.
Man, you know what? I've been trying to find, and I can't, but I'm trying to see how many people were sent home and killed by insects in Vietnam, as opposed to like total killed or wounded in action.
That'd be a good
What?
statistic.
Oh,
That's
dude,
nice.
it's real. It's like
Interesting.
I have literally seen a camel spider get run over by a tank, had a frag thrown up on it, blown up on it, then had an entire M4 magazine dumped into it, and then was lit on fire, and the thing still walked off.
Those things are beasts, man. I
Like,
think they're from outer space, honestly.
Bro, I had one,
Like
dude.
cockroaches.
I had one climb up the fucking wall We were all laying down watching movies on our cots, and I watched this bitch crawl up the wall, over on the ceiling, got right above me, and let fucking go and turned midair, and then I was out.
Oh, dude, that. So
I would have been too. Wow.
On my first deployment, I did have a laptop.
Did
what
keyword.
I was sitting there, and this is like one of my only Skype calls home. I think I was like there for like 3 or 4 months by this point, and I'm sitting there talking to my mom and dad, and it was for real, like just middle of nowhere on our OP on top of this mountain, and like just I guess there's a camel spider just crawling above me. Dude, I'm sitting there talking to my mom. This thing drops down in front of me and lands on the keyboard. I have never, dude, like, dude, I got the shit smoked out of me for this, dude, but I, for real, like, I have never jumped up and grabbed my M4 so fast in my life. Like, I, for real, like, I came flying, I was like, ah, bah, 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 bah. And, dude, like, seriously, like, the only thing I could see, because my stepdad, he's a Delta operator, and it was seriously, like, the last thing I saw was him laughing his ass off as my computer screen just goes black. And I was like, oh!
Well, that happens when you put rounds through it. All right, I'm going to reel us back on track here. Thank you, Mad. Appreciate
it. Frick those spiders, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Fuck that.
That's the real war. We're not worried about the cows and shit. Fucking camel spiders.
No, they can't shoot. They can't shoot for shit. The one of them spiders bite the fuck out you.
Oh yeah.
All right, with the VA, this is one of the main things about the VA that pisses me off a lot. Is the Montgomery GI Bill, which is such an excellent idea, but they fuck the veterans out of it every goddamn day. Because, like with me, I can't go to an actual college institution and sit there and listen to a lecture with all of these people around because of my PTSD. I can't pay attention. I would be too busy freaking out to listen to the fucking lecture, so I would fail. So I'm actually forced to go to online college, right? But the difference is the MHA, the Military Housing Allowance, is the rate of an E5 sergeant. You get $916.50 every month to go to college. So they basically pay your rent while you go to college, which is awesome. Don't get me wrong. But if you actually attend a college and go to the institution, in my county, because this is based off of zip code, in my county you get $14.55 a month, which is bullshit. Because it's because of my service that I can't go to college. So why should I get half my money?
Yeah.
I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Do you think they should be the same across the board, or do you think it's right because you're actually going to a college and paying the tuition and dorm fees and all that shit? But I got rent that's more than a dorm fee is.
Yeah, I think it should.
That's a good observation. You got rent.
So the way I look at it is for a single soldier, probably not. Like if a single soldier is just chilling, or ex-soldier is just sitting there chilling and stuff like that, like not going to college, not really doing anything, maybe not. But a soldier who's got family and stuff like that should definitely get it full. You know what I mean?
I think if you have a medical reason why you can't, and it's proven that you have a medical condition that prevents you from going to an institution, you should get the full amount.
Okay,
there is that.
Yeah.
I think that if you, in my opinion, this is my opinion, if you go overseas, any way, shape, or form, doesn't matter what the fuck it's for or what. If you're in a hot zone, combat zone, it doesn't matter if you're sitting at a desk. You're still in that heightened sense of alertness the whole time, right? No matter where you're at in country, you're still in that alertness.
Yeah.
So I think you should be taken care of no matter what, in my opinion. It doesn't matter what it is. It should be, okay, yeah, you want to go to college? Okay, we're going to help you. I'm not saying they give it to you for free, but find ways to help and make it happen. And it was with healthcare, it should be I should be able to go to the fucking hospital really anywhere I want.
Well, the other thing with college, from my understanding, is if you're active duty or a dependent, you can still also apply for the Pell Grant. And I've used the Pell Grant once, and it paid for my college.
Yeah, you can. like the entire time I've gone to college, like even when I was still active duty, I got the Pell Grant and I got paid to go to college while I was still in, and it paid 100%. Didn't touch my Montgomery GI Bill. After I got out and became a veteran, I used my Montgomery GI Bill and got the Pell Grant on top of it, which gives you a lot more money. But I think that you shouldn't have to take a pay cut if you have a medical disability that the Army or military service gave you.
True.
So,
and I also knew a lot of people that joined the military just for the GI Bill that when they went to try to use it, realized it wasn't worth being in and got out.
Yep.
So, I got a question for you guys. It's a little bit off topic, but it's involving like PTSD and stuff like that. Now, I know with law enforcement and stuff like that, if they're engaged while out on patrol, or if they engage someone and kill someone, they immediately get a psychiatrist or have to go see one.
Right.
Is the question, do we have to do that?
With the Army, if they were to do that, do you think that would lower PTSD rates and stuff like that?
No. Here's why. In a cop situation, you could be on patrol, but you're still in the United States, bro, and you're not
right.
You're on an alert status, but when you go home, that alert status ain't there.
Yeah.
When you're in Iraq or Afghanistan or you're at war, dude, your body does not shut down.
Right.
If you remember correctly, I could be woken up by somebody just touching me, just a touch.
Dude, I'd wake up when the wind started blowing.
Right. If they just touch me, I would wake up. They wouldn't even, if they could even just walk up to me and I'd wake up sometimes. So your body doesn't shut down because your body's on 100% alertness 100% of the time for however long you're over there. So if you're over there for 15 months, dude, your body's running 110% for 15 straight months.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the difference in my opinion.
Well, that like my biggest PTSD stuff is doesn't even have to do with me getting shot at, or even when Sergeant D died. It wasn't even that was my biggest thing. It was not when I killed people, except for one person. I engaged and I shot a kid in the head. That has fucked with me bad. But I don't think talking to a psychiatrist or a psychologist would ever help that. Like ever.
I kind of figured
actually, in all actuality, I think.
What you think of that?
In all actuality, I think talking to a psychologist, not a psychiatrist, but a psychologist, would help, because with psychologists,
they can't relate, man. They can't relate, bro.
No,
the best thing you can do is talk to another vet. That's probably one of the best things.
But what I was gonna say is, with psychology, it's all taught on how to talk to people, get them to open up, and get them to realize their issue and walk them through how to fix it.
That's different between a vet and some random person. A vet already knows what his issue is.
Right.
Well, I don't disagree with you completely on that, but
like that. I think it's two totally different aspects. You need somebody that you can talk to that actually understands what you've been through and been there, but you need somebody on a clinical side that can help guide you and let you know what's going to happen with you and the shit that you're going to go through, right?
Right. Well, the thing is,
if you don't have both of those, you're going to be in for a hell of a time.
What I was getting at is the military needs to have psychologists that have been through combat.
They have those
to help combat vets.
Have them
so that you have somebody to talk to.
Well, here's the kicker. The VA. Since we're on the VA topic, right? Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. Everybody off, but because this is on that psychiatrist level. When I got assigned a psychiatrist, he was Indian.
Well, that's the difference.
Listen though.
Okay.
They're from over there. They talk like them. They smell like them. Like, how am I supposed to talk about the situation that I dealt with their people to them?
Yeah.
That's one thing I was trying to get at.
Very negligent oversight.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things I was trying to get at, is there is a difference between a psychologist and a psychiatrist. Psychiatrists are doctors. Psychologists are therapist.
Yeah, we know that.
To-
Yeah,
to
one
help you
can
with everything. And-
prescribe medication, one can't.
Yeah,
Right,
and
but the difference is they've never been to war.
well, that's what I'm saying is they need more of those that have been to war get into that field to help the other.
I think
Yeah,
that
you
there
know,
should
that'd
not
be
be
a
a,
great,
there should not be a hiring practice in the VA that you can
Right,
be a
right.
psychiatrist or a psychologist or even a doctor that
Why
hasn't
aren't
been
they
there.
vets? Why aren't they all vets?
Exactly. There's
That's what I don't
plenty of
understand.
veterans
Why
that
aren't they
need
all
jobs.
You should tell
Right.
people you come
And-
back from deployment, hey, you want to renew your contract, hey, let's go back to school, become a psychologist, help people out. Boom.
At the
Right.
VA. Right.
That should happen.
Fucking
Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I personally think that the VA probably started out as that.
Hmm.
I would not doubt that that's how it actually started.
That I'm not sure.
Right.
I didn't research
should be,
that.
'cause there's so many vets that are out there trying to do the same thing on their own anyways.
Right.
Like,
Well, there's all kinds of organizations out there
So-
that are trying to help too.
Right.
exactly.
Well, like they've put me through so many different doctors and psychiatrists and psychologists, and I will not speak to any of them that are not veterans because they just don't fucking
I'm right
get
there with
it.
you.
Like with my lower back, they were like, well, what's wrong with it? Did this and that and this and that? I'm like, well, you got to think 9 years of overuse, more weight than I even weigh on my back. It's gonna be fucked up. Well, I think it's a back strain. Oh, okay. Yeah, I strained
You didn't
it.
carry a 90. You didn't carry a 90-pound Alice pack up a mountain.
Well, that's why,
Well, I think my back strain would have went away by now.
so, like, the
Or jump out of
VA,
an air-
like, the second you go through and they hear, oh, he's been deployed, here's a psychiatrist. You know, here's all these pills and stuff like that.
Pills,
And
pills.
you go there, and it's some like 20-year-old chick that's like never left her hometown. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's like,
Well, that was
why-
my biggest problem with
like, what are
that's
you
my
doing?
biggest problem with with the medical field in general is it's gotten to the point where it's all about prescribing medications and not actually helping people deal with their issues.
Yeah, it's like putting Band-Aid on a broken leg.
Yeah.
Isn't the
Mhm.
VA's motto medicate and isolate anyway?
Basically, they throw
I mean,
throw
bro, I was on 13 of
ibuprofen
them
at
one
everything.
time. I was on 13 of them at one point.
Like they give so much ibuprofen away that they call it Ranger candy. I mean, that's basically what it is.
I gotta be honest with you. The thing that helped me the most was faith.
A lot of people actually find faith. I actually got baptized. I was the first person to ever be baptized on our base in Afghanistan.
Faith helped. No, I'm saying through PTSD and through all of my issues. I got off of the medication, turned to faith, got off of alcohol.
See, I never took medication for my PTSD. They prescribed it to me, but I didn't want to go that path because I know that shit fucks with your brain and it's unfixable.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I was on Paxil, Wellbutrin,
Damn.
Trazodone.
Damn. You're on big boy stuff.
Oh, there was a lot of it. What's that stuff they used? Oh man, I don't even remember.
Like,
There's a lot. There was a lot.
but like when it comes to the faith thing, like a lot of soldiers who go overseas and stuff like that who don't believe end up believing. A lot of soldiers who, you know, go there believing end up not believing when they come back. For
You know
me,
what?
it has been up and downhill. When I went there the first time, I believed. Came back, I did it. But there again, I started to believe, like when I came back, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just,
Yeah. And that goes into something else my dad always told me. He always told me that there's no atheists in foxholes.
I was
No.
actually gonna say something quite similar to that. I think anybody that's been close to any life-threatening situation or fucking anything like that knows that.
Yeah, whether you say it out loud or you just think it in your head, it goes through your fucking head.
You're looking to something, whether it's God or that fucking rock that's beside you, man. You're believing in something that's bigger than you.
And then most of my brigade were started off as atheists, and then they've slowly been baptized.
I mean, once I got baptized, once I got baptized and I started having a relationship, okay, because that's the difference. All right, you can be a believer, and then you can be a believer that has a relationship.
Mhm.
You know, which is, you know, I open the Bible every day. When I get up in the morning, it's one of the first things I do. I open it up and I see, and just random. I'm not looking for nothing like that. Just open it up and start reading, and then I pray. And then I do pray before I go to bed, and I do that every day, and that's a relationship every day, and you start seeing things differently. It just, the panic that I used to have, it's not there anymore. Now there's still, okay, so like anxiety, like my anxiety just disappeared, dude, and I'm not even bullshit. It just completely like, it's gone. I'm not even joking.
The thing that helped me most with mine was my dog.
But me, like when I go to a store, that's a different story. Like when I start getting surrounded with people, like I'll still have that. Like I gotta be watching.
The hypervigilance.
Yeah.
Like I can't go to bars anymore.
Right. I still have that, but I did, dude. Once I started doing that, and I started having a relationship. The alcohol left. The anxiety left. There was a lot that was compounding issues on top of the PTSD, you know what I mean? Like there was a lot that was going on that was on top of it, because from PTSD you got the roots of PTSD, which is this experience you went through, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you start going up, it starts branching out, and you okay, alcoholism, okay, doing drugs, and then then taking all the pills, and then everything just kind of starts branching out, and it just grows into this big ass mess.
Fiery inferno.
Well, that and the VA, like I said, they put a Band-Aid on a broken leg by giving you a bunch of medication. But what they don't understand is you get stuck in this cycle because you're in pain. Right. So you take meds, and then you're depressed because you have to take meds, and because you can't do all the things you wanted to do, so you take more meds. Yeah. And then you get stuck in this cycle, and they don't want to fix the fucking problem. Is I guess my point.
No,
and that was my point to the psychologist and trying to get more military members into the psychology field, because if you have somebody that you can talk to that's been through a similar experience, it's almost like a weight taken off of you, knowing that you have somebody to talk to that's experienced something similar.
I don't think attaching a psychologist or psychiatrist to a unit or a soldier, I don't think that's the answer. I think the answer would be to make it so there's less stigma and you don't get basically kicked out of your fucking job for going to see somebody when shit happens.
Because
bro, it's like that, that movie with Robin Williams and where he's a psychiatrist.
Yeah, Good Will Hunting.
Analyze this.
No, Good Will Hunting.
No, Good Will
Analyze
Hunting.
this. Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, Analyze This is with Robert De Niro and Billy Crystal.
No, that Good Will Hunting is exactly what is needed for that. Like that concept of that movie, and how he related with the dude because he was from his neighborhood and he went through some of this, had some of the same struggles.
Well, and he was no bullshit. He was straight up, this is how it is.
Right. And that's what is needed more with the veteran community as far as psychiatrists, psychology, however you want to look at it.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Well, see, if I'm being honest, even like talking to someone who's been through it as well doesn't always help.
No, it doesn't. It won't, but it does. But it does.
It helps, but maybe not immediately. But the more you talk with somebody that's been through something similar, the more you realize you're not alone, and you realize that you're not so fucked up.
Right. Well, and it's just like, when we first got in here. That's a
community thing.
Right. And it's like when we first got in here, I haven't really hung out and talked with you guys for a while, some of you I have never talked to, but like military members, vets, they put things out there, right? They'll it's like testing. Okay, how are you going to react to this? How are you going to react to this if I say this and blah, 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 blah. And then they take in that information and then they decide, okay, do I want to talk to this guy or is he a douche? And then that's
Right.
how, well, you know what I'm saying? And that's where it goes. And once you decide, once as a vet, you decide if the dude's a douche, he's a douche, and you're not going to fucking talk to him ever again.
Right, and that's another thing with the military community. That's why I don't go around doing the whole "thank you for your service" thing, because I know so many vets that get so aggravated by that. It's one of those that I recognize it. And I'm like, you know.
Yeah. Well, me personally,
Good
I don't
job.
get aggravated by it. It gets annoying. But I also see it from the civilians' point of view. They're just trying to be nice, and they're trying to be, give you a thank you for your service, like an honest thing. So it's like, I don't know. I just want to strangle some of them sometimes.
Well,
I get where you're coming from, but like the way I look at it is, yeah, I went overseas and did what I did, but my brothers who were killed over there should be the ones getting that thing.
Oh yeah, no,
Right.
I said that the other day, bro. Somebody brought up. Right, somebody brought up in my live about Veterans Day, and I was like, well, I kind of feel like Memorial Day is more important. Like, I always just say when people approach me and they say thank you for your service, I usually just say it was an honor.
I say you're welcome. I loved my job. That's all I say.
Yeah. That's like whenever Memorial Day or Veterans Day come on, I'll always make some kind of art, and I will thank the past, present, and future military members for everything they do.
Well, I'm gonna hold my comments till that topic comes up, because that is actually one topic I have written down is Memorial Day versus Veterans Day.
I think Memorial Day should be a bigger holiday than it is.
I agree.
A lot of people forget this shit that's gone on in the past, and that's what's made today what it is.
Oh yeah, that's a fact.
Oh yeah.
And if we didn't have that shit, we wouldn't be as fortunate as we are now. Like, you think about it. An 18-year-old right now wasn't even born in 9/11.
Yep.
Yeah, that blows my mind when I think about it.
It makes me feel old as fuck when I think about it.
No, I know.
That too.
Tell me about it.
Like this next part right here, like I did the research on this next part, and oh my god, I was instantly pissed for half the day. Like
these people don't know.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Or where is this going?
Okay, so
they don't understand. Oh, okay, go ahead.
Oh, no, okay, I was letting you finish your point before I get on to the next part.
Okay. I was going to say they don't understand the sense of community that happened the days after 9/11, and like the unity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember waking up and seeing that show on the news. I was like, "What the fuck?" And it just felt like there was a feeling inside that I couldn't explain. It was more than pissed. It was more than I have to do something about it. It was, I felt personally attacked.
You wanted to vent.
And
now imagine seeing that on your first day at your first duty station.
Yeah. And then also all the American flags that got sold out, and people weren't worried about North, South, black, white. Everybody was coming together as one people.
Roboto, bro.
Yeah, you're a robot in the game.
Every truck had a flag on it.
Yeah.
Dude, there was overwhelming unity. Overwhelming unity. Overwhelming. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was crazy. And nobody remembers that. Now it's just divisiveness and hatred.
Yeah, I saw it, like September 11th just happened, the anniversary of it. And somebody had posted something on Twitter, and somebody had the balls to say, okay, that was over 20 years ago, get over it. It's like, oh, I'm going to smack the fuck out of you.
Oh, no doubt. I remember 9/11 like it happened yesterday.
It's like people don't understand that was a big fucking deal. I mean, I'm kind of split between was it them or was it us that did 9/11? Because I think it was a political stunt so we can go to war to capture oil, personally. But it was still horrible when it happened.
I think there was a lot of...
There was shady shit going on.
I think that's the way it is with that. that's the way it is with every war, though. I mean, I don't think we know everything about, like, you know, you have the big debate about the Civil War and the flag and all that, right?
Yeah.
And why the Civil War was fought. Well, me using my brain, I look at it like this: there was taxes after Civil War. There was no taxes prior to Civil War. What was the war about?
Exactly.
Well, actually, with what I was taught, well, with what I was taught with the Civil War, because I lived also in the North, the South, and the West, was
Hey, you fought in the
most
Civil
of
War.
it was most of it was over the fact that the government was wanting to tax the South, and the South was rebelling against the taxes.
Yes.
So
Awkwardly quiet, dude.
It was, I mean, that's what I that's what I was saying. Is there's no taxes before and there's taxes after.
well, I think
But like with
Right.
the Iraq War, it's a little different because there was so much information, and I understand propaganda too, right? And how that works.
Mm-hmm.
Most vets know how propaganda works, and there's no way to
and
tell.
Our mainstream media.
Yeah, with all the misinformation that's out there, it's virtually impossible to know.
Well, see, that's a perfect segue into what our next topic is actually.
All right, let's get into
All right,
that.
let's get it.
Okay, these statistics that I ran fucking literally pissed me off very badly today. All you hear about on the media news nowadays, other than the election shit, is COVID, right?
Yeah.
Like, look at these statistics on suicide in the veteran community. This is fucking unreal that I found out as much shit as I did. Suicide out of 100,000 people, civilians 5,200, males 2,400, veterans 28,700 female, 32,100 males, and then add 20% during the COVID lockdown. So with those numbers, suicide out of 100,000 veterans, 38,520 die every year. COVID deaths out of 100,000, 8,200, which is 8.2%. But now this is a pandemic, and we all need to worry about it. But how many years has this veteran suicide shit been going on? And nobody gives two flying fucks about it.
It's been going on forever, though. Like the 22 a day, that's been out 5-10 years now.
Yeah, but what member of Congress has done anything about it besides Trump's trying? He's trying.
Veteran suicide has been a thing since the start of this country.
Yeah.
Right.
But where's the pandemic shutdowns? Where's the all this shit for this type of numbers? Because if 8,200 out of 100,000 die from COVID, and we're locking shit down, and everyone's freaking the fuck out, and we got to figure out a solution to it, where's the team of experts that's figuring this shit out? And I guarantee a lot of those numbers are because of how long it takes them to approve claims.
You know what I want to know? How many of those numbers are homeless vets too?
Exactly.
Well, that's got to be a strong percentage of it, I would assume.
I would say over 50 if I'm being honest.
Yeah, because
the other thing that also highlights is the need for the community to reach out to each other. And when you feel alone, to talk to somebody, because that does help.
I mean, you're kind of nailing that because
that kind of a depressed. When you get into that kind of depressed mind frame, having somebody that you can talk to will help you.
Dude, community is so terrible right now, and and the funny thing is the way, like, my kids right now are in online school. They're not allowed to go in person because of COVID. Now, you think that, just look at what the phones did to our social construct, right? Just phones alone, what they did. You would go to, like, your local baseball game, football game, whatever, and everybody's on their phones, not talking to anybody. In a group of like 100 people, they're just all looking at their phones, right?
Or they're texting the person that's right next to them.
Right, and now you got these kids that are going to have no social construct whatsoever, because now they're not even going to school.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
to me, that's a reason why anxiety in depression is on the rise, is because people aren't having a sense of community and social interaction.
right.
What do you think one of the biggest points of depression are for veterans leaving the military?
I honestly think it has a lot to do with the VA taking 9 goddamn years to actually help the veteran because they have no way of paying rent because they just got
It's
out.
the camaraderie. It's the camaraderie.
Well,
I think there should
yes
be,
and no,
I
because
think
you
there
can
should
have
be
camaraderie
Whoa.
without being in.
I think there should be a halfway house. I think there should be some kind of halfway, like, program where you get out and then you go into like a program that helps you readjust, right, and helps you get out of the military mindset.
Social skills and all that. Yeah.
Well,
Right.
that they help you get your VA claim done so you can actually afford to buy a house.
As well as like from an infantry standpoint. You know, if you're coming out of the military and you got your wife, your kids, and stuff like that, there's also a lot of added stress onto you, which causes more depression because now all of a sudden you're realizing, oh crap, the thing I've been doing for 28 years has no connection to the civilian world whatsoever.
Exactly.
How am I going to find a job?
You know what's weird though?
Well,
And,
well, see, that's one
Money
thing.
out of their pocket.
it seems like
Well, see, that's
veterans coming out,
one thing
they go one of
that
two
my
ways.
dad did.
Like they either do really, really well or quit.
Right. There's no in between.
Mhm. Right.
Like, Jeff, I can
And-
barely
and
hear
that's
you
one
with your
thing-
mic being low, bud.
And that's one thing that
That
my
any better?
dad did. What
I can barely hear you.
To getting out.
How's
that's
he
one
coming
thing
through
my
on
dad-
OBS? Jekyll, that's what you got to look at. You got to look at the OBS numbers.
Well, I can barely hear him. Can you guys hear him?
I can hear. But
Anyway, go
well,
ahead.
getting
Sorry.
that figured out. One of the things my dad did prior to getting out, when he knew that he was going to get out, he started doing research in finding jobs that he could do with his background.
Right, but that's the thing. The biggest part of the military is
There's an echo
infantry.
now.
Yeah, infantry's
Biggest
got
part
like
of
one
military
job
is
you can get. You can become a cop.
Right,
Either
or
A,
a,
you're going to be a cop or government contractor.
or a prison guard or
Yeah.
border security or
Either you're doing some sort of law enforcement or you're right back doing government contracting, doing what you were doing over
Or you're in jail
Right.
because you
A
want to
lot
choke the
of-
shit
a
out of
lot of-
everybody.
yeah, a lot of soldiers did that government contract shit after they got
There's
out. I know
so
that.
much money in it.
Not
But
worth it.
it's-
Yeah,
what I was
that pissed
getting
me
at
off when
is-
I was deployed. Find out those fuckers are making $500,000 for a year. It's like, god damn.
Is that
But-
any
but
better?
what I was getting at,
4 years of working.
but what I was getting at is when you have a plan for getting out, you can go ahead and look at, oh well, I need to learn this skill and I need to maybe do this school or whatever before you get out, so that you can
Yeah,
have
that
the
don't
tools
work that
when you
way.
get out.
It don't
Yeah,
work that way.
It doesn't work
It
that way
don't
at all.
work that way.
And here's another thing: is there should be programs put towards this because you got vets like me. I've been there since I was 17.
Right.
This is literally all I know. And there's a lot, thousands of other vets like that. They don't know.
Oh, dude,
what to
and
do
then there's
when they get
tons of
outside
vets too. There's tons of vets too that like there's units out there, right, that if they knew they were losing you, they ain't helping you.
Nope.
That it's just the way it is. They're worried about the numbers coming in and the new people they got to train and all that. They don't care. Oh, you're leaving? Bye.
Well, when, the bad part is when the military's done with you, they don't give two fucks about you. That's just plain and
Well,
simple.
There should be programs.
there's something that I've
in the
been
military
noticing
to
around
help
here.
soldiers that are getting out,
Like a
find
halfway
jobs
house.
to get set up.
Yeah, I
You know
fully
what I
agree.
mean? So they're
Well-
not just thrown out into the ocean.
Yeah.
Well, something that I've noticed around here where I live is there's been a lot of job fairs that are designed for military members getting out. And it's been advertised all over the place on billboards and everything else. So there's some places
not
that are
military
starting to
posted.
do that.
Well,
Right,
I think it should be
that's
across
like
the board.
civilian-
Like, I know police agencies, they give preference point hiring to veterans. I think it should be that way for every job in America.
Oh, like I said, when we were having the problem with security at schools, I said, bro,
Yeah, that'd be
you got
perfect.
plenty of vets getting out. You got plenty of vets getting out, bro, that need a job. You know?
Yeah, that is a perfect idea. Let us protect shit. That's what we do.
Right.
Right.
But I was just pointing out that there are some places that are taking a proactive stance that's trying to help military members as they get out. Like I said,
Right, but what we're
there's
talking
been
about
job
is-
fairs around here.
We're talking about a structure through the military.
Yeah, not
Is what
some
we're
True,
talking-
random
true.
association.
We're not talking about non-profit. We're talking about like
Like
actual.
like VA.
Yeah. Well, I understand what you're getting at. I'm just explaining that it's not like a nonprofit doing it. It's groups of businesses that are getting together and doing job fairs that are pro-military.
But is that
Saying,
nationwide or is that
we-
just in your area though?
No, I think it's just in my area, but it's a sign that things are going in the right direction.
Yeah,
Is what I'm getting at.
Well, I will say though, we're sitting here bitching about the VA. I bitch more than probably anybody, but I always thank veterans that are from the Vietnam era because they got spit on and shit when they got home. They didn't have no VA. They created this for
we've
us.
come a long way.
Mm-hmm.
We've come a long ways.
Yeah, so I do think I'm thankful for that, but I think it could be a lot better, and I wish people didn't lie, like recruiters didn't lie, that you're going to be taken care of when you got out, when you're all fucked up. They should just tell how it is. You're probably not going to get taken care of that great, but, you know.
The experience will be worth it.
Exactly. All right, let's scooch right along here, and I think that our Aussie firefighter who's finally here, and Jay can weigh in on this quite a bit. It's differences between civilian and military. One of the biggest ones, I think, personally, is friendships versus brotherhood. Because you can have people that you grew up with all through high school, all since you were a kid, you join the military, you go to war. That relationship is not going to be as strong as the one that you just forged with your brothers and sisters in arms, and it's only been 6 months, a year, whatever. And you know those other people your whole fucking life. But that bond is nowhere near the same. Like,
Right.
what do you guys think about that?
I've said this before. The way I look at it is, I don't have friends. I've got brothers and sisters. Everyone that I'm close with, that I talk to on a daily basis and stuff like that, they're brother or sister to me. They're not a friend.
I agree. The only time I use the term friend is if I'm talking about somebody who I grew up with or who is not military related.
Exactly. That's what I do.
Well, with me being a GI brat, I use the brother and sister term when I actually care about somebody like they were family. And a friend to me is more of an acquaintance that I see sometimes or that I've known forever, but I'm not very close to, because I've had people that were longtime friends that I found out did shit that I don't agree with.
Well, with you being a military brat, like, people used to piss me off all the time when they would talk shit about military families, military spouses in particular. What the fuck are they bitching about? They don't have a hard job. That pisses me off. That is the hardest job in the military, in my opinion, because as soldiers, we're the ones going through the shit. We know what we're doing. We know if we're safe. The spouses and families at home, they go through the exact same shit we do, minus pulling the trigger. And they are left in the dark 90% of the times. And you guys have to move. You have to sever ties. How is that different?
Not to mention, we didn't have the training y'all did.
Or the fun of blowing shit up.
Without having been trained.
Yeah, and you guys didn't get to blow shit up and have fun.
To deal with somebody. Yeah, and you got to think also is with spouses and children, a military member with PTSD could get triggered and flip out, and you don't know what's going on or what the trigger.
Yeah, you don't know what set them off. Like me personally, my PTSD, like a lot of people will misinterpret what PTSD is, and that's another segment that we'll get into. But like they automatically assume it's the flashback thing, it's the I'm gonna dive under tables thing. When in reality, my biggest problem is my hypervigilance. I will sit there and scan anytime I'm in public nonstop, and people will actually ask me what the fuck I'm looking at, and it's like, motherfucker, I ain't looking at you. I'm looking at everybody.
Right. And being a military brat, that also gets instilled in you as a child, where you're moving around a lot, so you're constantly in an alert status for your surroundings, and or wondering who's trying to befriend you to fuck with you and who's trying to actually be your friend.
Well,
because you don't know how long you're going to be someplace, so you don't know whether or not you want to build any kind of lasting relationship with them.
Exactly. Well, that and the friends that you guys usually do have, correct me if I'm wrong, at least with the people that I associate with, other veterans, their families were best friends with my family. So you guys had a commonality between you guys that had your own bond, kind of like veterans have their own bond with other veterans.
Right. Yeah, the military families tend to become more of a community, and they look out for their own, to the point where when a new kid moves to a base, the other kids around will come over and introduce themselves and be looking out for you and say, okay, when we go to school, don't mess with this person, or don't mess with these groups of people, because they don't like the military, or they don't like military kids, or whatever. So you tend to look out for each other because you have that commonality.
Is it the same basic idea in Canada, Swayze?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, like, when I was growing up, like, when I was a kid, my dad was in the military, but he got out when I was, like, 6. So, like, I was born on an Air Force base, and I moved to a naval base. And from what I remember, it was pretty well the exact same thing, yeah.
Like there's shit that veterans will only understand other veterans when they're talking, and I think it's the same way for military families. Like, you guys will have your own shit that veterans will never understand.
Oh yeah. It's like I was telling you in the DM, the difference between going to Walmart as opposed to going to the commissary on base.
Well, that's one of the hardest things, I think, is of adjustment is working with civilians again.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the mindset of civilian job and the mindset of military, and it would be the same with the kids. You know, the kids get the mindset of a military.
Well, see, I never worked really with civilians in a retail job or anything like that, but I know after my first deployment, when I got back after 13, 14 months, and I went to Walmart, it was so fucking weird, because I was used to these little shops and shitty PXs and shit over in Afghanistan, and I saw all of this shit and all these people. I'm like, oh, fuck me. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah. And with the military bases, you have a commissary that's a huge grocery store, as well as the PX and things like that on the base, instead of a Walmart or a grocery store or whatever.
Well, PXs piss me off because they're tax-free, but they cost the same fucking price as shit off-post that do have tax. So they jack up their prices.
And sometimes and sometimes they cost more on the base than they do off the base.
A lot of times.
It pisses me off how they do that shit. We should get everything at cost.
Like, dude, never buy a firearm on base.
Annexes are decent.
Never buy a firearm on base, because they're getting you for the taxes and stuff like that.
Yeah, that military star card pissed me off.
Oh, dude, that's the biggest scam in the fucking entire army.
When I got out, I got a severance pay, and I had to pay off my star card with that, which was fine. I don't care. but there was one penny that I didn't pay, and it went to collections, and I found out about it fucking 4 years later, and there's so much interest on that one penny. I owe them so much money again. It's like, you motherfuckers.
No, they're dirty with it.
The star cards are they
Like,
get you.
That's designed to take privates' money.
That's literally what it's for. Is new privates getting out and saying, here, you have this, you can buy whatever you want, and just pay later. And they're like, oh my god, I'm gonna go get the new Challenger.
Well, yeah,
And it's like,
because
no.
they prey on these 17-year-old kids, never been home or away from home before, and it's like, here's a fucking credit card. You got a $15,000 credit. And it's like, holy shit, to a 17-year-old never been out of the house before? That's like the worst thing you can do.
Yep.
I mean, look at how it all is set up anyway. I mean, what is when I was in, we were making as an E1, I think it was like $1,200 a month. $1,200 a month. $1,200 a month, and you'd have to press your uniforms. So that costs money. You have to
sew your patches.
So yeah, all the sewings, all that stuff.
I took that to the fucking Chinese dude down the street. He sewed that shit on. Oh, great.
Yeah.
But
around the bases, there's always a seamstress that'll do
which they got rid of
stuff
that.
for you.
They got rid of that with the Velcro. I mean, that's maybe that's why they did. That's right, and that's probably why they did what they did. They got rid of the black boots and they got rid of that uniform to help. Maybe
I still sewed all my shit on.
Yeah, I still sew mine on. If you don't, that Velcro doesn't hold on to anything. It's going flying.
Yep.
Oh, there goes the $15 gift patch.
I remember my mom bitching every time my dad had to get a new patch sewn on.
Well, I just know I was married and getting BAH and still getting welfare.
Hey,
I know.
Mm-hmm. Why is it like that? Why would you pay me twice?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just pay me?
Well, what pissed me off is they would still take taxes out. They would take federal taxes out of our paychecks. It's like, well, I guess I just paid my fucking self.
Right? I'm paying all this federal tax money, but where is it? Like, it's not going to me, so where's this going to?
Well, I've got one better for you, Wick. My parents had 3 boys. I'm the oldest of 3 boys. And my parents got denied for welfare for so long. We learned how to live on the scraps, basically, that my dad made. And, yeah, we were living in poverty for a long time.
Well, there's so many scams and shit, like you were saying, that's around the base. I remember, I call him my Nigerian nightmare, because I don't know who the fuck his recruiter was.
Those money pits? You talk about the money pits and all that?
No, like this.
Cash in advance?
Well, that too, but this dude was from Nigeria, and he barely spoke English, and they signed him up for the infantry. He thought he was going to be a cook. And he ends up in my squad. He was the hardest working motherfucker, but he was dumb as shit. Like, he came up to me one day, he's like, Sergeant, somebody's putting money in my bank account every month. I'm like, yeah, it's your paycheck. He's like, I get paid to be in Army? I'm like, what the fuck did your recruiter tell you? But this dude, we had to do vehicle inspections one day, and we went to the parking lot. I was like, Alua, which car is yours? I heard you just got a car. And he just brings me to this whole fucking aisle. I'm like, okay, which one's yours? He's like, they're all mine. They say, here, you're in Army? Here's a car. Here's a car. They give me all these cars. I'm like, dude, you got to pay for these. He's like, they're not free? I'm like, fuck no, they're not free. Who's going to give, like, it's such a scam. They're like 28% APR, and they're just giving fucking privates these cars that are like fucking Lamborghinis and shit.
Dude,
it's like, oh my God.
For real, this kid came through basic, right? And he got stationed back here after his AIT because he was a 42 Alpha, like lowest of the low, just like worthless piece of shit.
I don't even know what a 42 Alpha is. That truck driver?
Human resource officer.
Oh, Jesus, even worse than a truck driver.
Yeah. And I saw him in the PX, and he approached me. He's like, "Oh, hey, Joe Carter." And I was like, "Who the fuck are you?" You know, like I don't remember my name. He's like, "Oh, yeah, I went through, your basic training a few months ago." I was like, "Ah, cool." And just like started walking away. Like I didn't care. And he, like, just walking around, like we were talking and stuff like that. And we're walking out of the PX, and he's going to his car. And I kind of stopped him. And I was like, "Private." And he's like, "Sergeant," just, we were in uniform. He's like, I was like, "Is that your car?" And he's like, "Yes." Drill sergeant, like he didn't know how to say it. This kid had a brand new 2020 Ferrari.
Holy shit!
There goes his paycheck.
I was like, "How do you live?" He's like, "Honestly, I don't know." And I was like, why would you buy it? And he's just like, I was like, "This is literally one of the pieces of advice I gave you before you left."
Yeah, that's always the first advice I give to privates when they get there is don't buy an expensive car.
I was like, "How much money do you have monthly after gas and bills and stuff like that?" He's like, "Oh, maybe like $300." I'm like, "Oh my god." I was like, "Just get out of my face. Get out of my face. Go start. Let's go."
Now there's a flip side. Now there's a flip side to that. When we were overseas in Japan, we would get cars from people that were moving back to the States for like $1 sometimes because they couldn't take it with them.
Nice. Send that shit back home.
Yeah.
Well, it's because they had a weight allowance for shipping.
Yeah.
So with all their stuff that they bought and had that they were living with, they couldn't take their car, so they would sell the car for $1, and you could find really decent cars cheap.
Fuck that. Call UPS. Well, like, when it comes to differences in civilian and military is when you're talking to a civilian that is not militarized at all, and you literally have to explain fucking everything you're saying, that shit gets annoying.
Yeah, and it's funny because that's one of the ways that I can tell stolen valor.
Yeah.
Is by walking up and using some military lingo and go, "What's your MOS?" And they're like, "What's an MOS?" I'm like, "Take the uniform off."
Dude, there's some pretty good stolen valors out there, but there's a lot of shitty ones too that you can just bust the fuck out.
Yeah.
It's sad though because like most of that stuff you can figure it out with like just a little bit of research.
Yeah.
Well, the easiest ones to figure out are that they're wearing like Air Force fucking awards and shit on a Army uniform, and you're like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah. or vice versa. I saw some guy one time wearing an Air Force uniform with a cavalry patch on it. I'm like, do you even know what the fuck that patch is?
Yep, and the airborne wings. I went up to one dude. I was like, "So were you 101st or 82nd?" He's like, "Neither." I'm like, "Then where the fuck did you get the wings?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neither. I was in the Ranger Regiment. Like, oh my god. I've actually had that happen.
Oh, we were stopping into McDonald's and we were trying to use the American lingo here. And there was a guy wearing full PPE at Macca's, and we're like, "Oh yeah, what brigade are you from?" "Oh, I'm third officer at such and such brigade." I looked at him, I'm like, "No, you're not." He's like, "How do you know?" I'm like, "Because I'm the third officer of that brigade." Then he ran outside and got tackled by a truckie, which is a 6'4", 300-pound Samoan.
Well, didn't they make that a felony, just the same as impersonating like a cop? Didn't they make that into a law, stolen valor now?
Yep.
Yeah. Stolen valor is illegal now.
Good.
I'm pretty sure.
Well,
notice.
And another thing that's pisses me off about the civilian sector is they will sit there and like all my friends and stuff. They'll tell me about all of their stress and all of their life's problems and stressful shit that they don't know how to deal with, and they're thinking about suicide because of my life's so stressful. And I'm just like, what the? That's an easy day for me. What the fuck are you so stressed out about? Jesus Christ.
That's a Tuesday's nap.
Yeah, I try not to talk about any kind of stress with anybody that's a military member due to the fact that I know they've been through shit where I haven't been through half the shit.
Well, like, I try and be an open ear for my friends just as much as I do my brothers and sisters, but sometimes I just want to slap the shit out of somebody and be like, dude, really? How are you this stressed out over something that fucking stupid?
Right.
Things that always get me is like when your friends come up to you, it's like, dude, like, my girlfriend's cheating on me and this and that. I'm so stressed out. I'm like, all right, drop the hook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, simple.
They're like, well, it's not that simple. I was like, it really is.
Yeah, it really is.
Cheated on me during my second deployment. I came back. She was out of the house because I walked in on her fucking another dude. I picked his bitch ass up, threw him out the door, grabbed her, threw her out the door, closed the door, end of story.
Yeah.
Haven't heard from her since.
Yep. I always tell people with relationships that you should look at relationships like you're driving a car. You're not going to drive a car staring into the rearview mirror all the time. So there's no reason to look back.
Well, Jekyl, I think I am about to cut out of here, bro. It's like 2.5 hours.
What, is this Wick?
Huh?
Who's this, Wick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me get your opinion on one matter before you jet out, and then we'll continue this without you.
All right.
Let's see. Veteran egos.
Like, all right.
Like not every veteran. Like I know you. Well, I don't know you, but I've known you for a while. Like, egos are not something that me and you have an issue with, as far as we think that the fucking world owes us something, or that we're better than anybody. Like, when veterans are going out in public, they're like, hey, I'm a veteran, I better get this discount. Or they tell bullshit war stories that they're fucking heroes.
Right, I see where you're going with this.
Like, does that piss you off as much as it pisses me off that they think that somebody owes them something?
Well, I mean, in a general sense, I kind of feel like the government does.
Oh, the government owes us, but I'm talking about regular people.
But I mean, I'm not. Yeah, I don't know, because I'm not worried about the discounts. Now, if I'll ask sometimes, right? I'll ask if they give a veteran discount if it's something, like working on my house or doing something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like something really expensive.
Yeah, something big. But like people go to Burger King where it's like $1 off, and they're like, "Where's my veteran discount?"
Yeah, no. Yeah, I ain't worried about all that. I mean, if they offer it, then I'll look a little bit.
If they offer it, I'll take it.
I look better on that business if they do. I guess.
Well, if they offer it, I'll take it, because I don't want to be disrespectful to their wanting to offer it to me. But I'm not going to go out of my way and ask for shit.
Like I've had AT&T forever, and I went and got the new iPhone, turned it in, because they did. I don't know if y'all know this, but they're giving them away for free. The new ones.
They couldn't pay me to take that bullshit, because AT&T has no cell service in this area.
Well, anyway, but I went to
AT&T is doing that with all the new phones.
I traded it in, and the lady's like, "You're a vet," and I'm like, yeah." She's like, "Oh, well, we give you what the hell? We give you a veteran discount. How long you been a member of AT&T?" I'm like, forever. It's been a long time. Like, I didn't even know. You know what I mean? Because I didn't even ask. I don't know. I don't really hate on them for it, but it is kind of douchey, I guess, in a way to act that way. I just, I don't really.
No, I fully agree.
Like, make a big scene about it.
Yeah.
Where's my discount, motherfucker? Like,
Well,
Yeah, my last deployment, the only place we could get a discount was at cafes, and the only coffee that they fucking sold were soy lattes and shit.
I take full
never
advantage
got a
of the
discount.
Oakley horses discount.
well, there's nothing wrong with taking the discounts, but if you go out of your way to get your $1 off of your fucking ice cream every time you go anywhere and throw a bitch
That's
fit,
just fucking
it's like fucking really, dude. That shit pisses me off. But
Yeah,
Like
most people that have been through real shit and that have, been in the shit, they don't do that shit and they don't brag about it most of the time. Most people won't even talk about it, really.
yeah, and that goes
Like
into
this,
my hero stories. Is like people have actually done shit. They generally don't talk about what they've done.
Right.
But the people
Unless
who
we're
are
in a
blowing smoke up
conversation
their
like
ass,
this
then
where
they
we
fucking
talk
go off.
You know what I mean?
Can you hear me?
Like in my,
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Like in my small town, bloody every time I'm going to a bar, I get half off my beer. I'm like, guys, it's $5. I don't want a beer for $2.50. Just give me the full fucking price.
The funny thing about the discount is my dad, he'll ask if they have a military discount, and then he'll also ask if they have a senior discount. And
Double
if they'll
whammy.
give him both, he'll use both.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I don't think it's a bad thing to ask. I just think it's like I get what Jekyll's talking. He's talking about people that are really flamboyant about it.
Oh yeah.
Well, if you're getting a $1 ice cream cone from McDonald's and you ask for a veteran discount.
Right.
Yeah.
Something
Come
like
on,
that.
man.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big,
Oh yeah, I get you, and that's also one of the things that I was getting at with the stolen valor is I think a lot of them are doing it just for the attention
Discounts.
and discounts. Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, it is what it is.
thinking that it's a great discount when if you look at it, you can find better discounts.
And my last question before you get out of here, Wick, is when you're watching movies and they're war-based movies, does it irritate the shit out of you too when things are wrong? Like if somebody has their collar up on their uniform, it fucking drives me nuts.
All right, I have a perfect example. I actually have a perfect example. The ISIS video. I freaking lost my shit, bro. I will not watch another Joyner Lucas video ever again. I couldn't. I hated that with a passion. Like, I get it. You're talking about fighting ISIS, but you're using soldiers to sell your video,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then you make them look like a bunch of clowns. It irked me.
Yeah. Well, they were National Guard.
I don't. They still look like a bunch of clowns.
Oh, that's not real funny.
Like they didn't look. It was a bad portrayal
Yeah, they made veterans look like shit.
of veterans, man.
Like-
Soldiers don't act like that.
So, have you guys watched The Outpost at all?
Yep.
The what?
The Outpost about Bob Keenan.
Yeah, that was a crazy movie.
no.
It was a great movie, and it was actually pretty accurate. There's like a few scenes where if you go back and watch it, where like a firefight will break out and everyone will throw off their helmet. It
Yeah.
bothers the hell out of me. I'm like, that never happened.
Right?
No one would ever do that, ever.
Never.
Well, shit like that pisses me off, and I will sit there and nitpick movies and make it so
God,
yeah. My fiance can't
Well,
even
you know-
enjoy the fucking movie because I'm sitting there yelling at it. It's like, don't do that. You can't do that. You can't even do that. That's not even plausible.
Now, to an extent, if they don't have advisors from the military, they can only do certain things.
Yeah.
Like Band of Brothers had a lot of support from the 101st, and they had advisors, and that would so they can do more, right? As opposed to like
What?
if you were to
You know why that is, don't you? Because the movie
It's
Top
stolen.
Movie Top Gun fucked them over. fucked everybody over from that movie on.
And,
Because they shot scenes they weren't supposed to shoot that showed military shit and tactics that they weren't allowed to shoot, but they did anyway.
Yeah.
So now, at that point going forward, something has to be a little bit off for them to be able to actually have it.
Well, I think another thing is, like, with the outpost, like, if you watch after the medevac helicopter comes in, the first time it comes in, when, like, that first firefight happens, where it's just all the pop shots into the fog,
Yeah.
and they go out on this night patrol, I can't remember what they're called, but the little red LED that sits there and flashes, so the medevac helicopter can see you come in.
Yeah.
Like, 3 guys, if you're looking at the, like, all the guys in the back of the patrol still have that on. It drives me nuts. I'm like, no! Turn it off!
That's like a, hey, shoot here. That's a target right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people,
Yeah,
like, when...
I did find
I'm going to see the three of you on Black Rifle Coffee's Veterans React to Movies.
Have you guys seen Hyena Road?
Which one?
It's not really military
Hyena
movies,
Road?
it's more like firefighting movies
No.
here, but
No,
oh
it's
fuck, that shit
Canadian.
pisses me off.
It's about the Canadian Forces, sniper element, and intelligence group. It's in Afghanistan. It's pretty accurate, I guess.
Well, movies and shows kind of piss me off a little bit also because they make civilians think that we do shit that we actually don't do. Like, they'll watch and think that we're all fucking Rambo. We get shot at every day. There's always firefights going on. But in reality, it's mostly like Jarhead. Where it's boring as fuck most of the time that you have to figure out something to do to occupy your time.
Oh,
what
yeah.
was that? Dude.
Another thing.
What
That's
was that
another
one?
thing that I was taught growing up. Hurry up and wait.
Yep.
What was that one about the engineer?
Good old
The-
Code 76.
Not the engineer that was the bomb on the bomb. You know, the IED squad or whatever, bomb diffuser.
Oh, you're talking about Hurt
He
Locker?
went up. And he went out on his
Yeah.
own. Now that was fucking. That was
Yeah,
fucking,
like, that whole movie was excellent up until that point.
right. Like who goes? No, you didn't go out there on your hit, though.
Like everything up until that point was real shit. That stuff happens all the time. Great depiction. And then he goes fucking Rambo. It's like, what?
Yeah, completely ruined it.
I think my favorite war movie was the Chris Kyle documentary.
That was an excellent movie. That was very technically accurate.
For Honor, or not For Honor,
Act of Valor?
The SEAL one. Yeah, Act of Valor, that one. Yes.
Alright, so here's the thing
was
with Chris
amazing.
Kyle. Yes,
Mhm.
he is a legend when it comes to the U.S. military, when it comes to sniper kills and stuff like that. Hands down, 100%. He came out with his book the first time he tried to release it. He got hit with a lot of flack because there's a lot of medals and stuff like that that he said in his book that he had gotten that they never received.
Well, he received. They just don't acknowledge he received them.
Well, no, I can't remember what models it was. Oh, okay, I just picked up on what you're saying. All right,
Well,
They
yeah.
gave them to him in the basement.
yeah, all right, I get
Well, that, and also he might have been referencing medals that he earned, but he didn't get. Like, I earned the Purple Heart,
Could be that
but I
too.
didn't take it.
Yeah.
So it's not on my
Well,
record that
dude,
I have a
medals-
Purple Heart.
Medals are crap anyway. I mean, they don't mean shit anymore.
Yeah.
No, especially
Right.
especially that CIB. CIB means dick now because
Okay, no. I'm not talking about those ones. I'm talking about the medals.
oh, like the AAMs and all that.
talking about-
I agree with you. It's just there was a lot of things that came out like when his book released, and then like with the documentary and stuff like that. That like the military, like U.S. Navy itself, outright was just like, no, that didn't happen at all.
Well, okay. Another thing, Wick, before you head out. Sorry, I'm keeping you here.
you're good.
A lot of people think that veterans hate deployment, and that's why we got out. Me personally, I miss deployment. And my fiance even says that I have war withdrawals because I want to go back so fucking bad. That it was like basically a big long ass camping trip with your brothers, and you gotta shoot shit and blow crap up. What's not to like?
I mean, I don't miss it. I'm good.
Oh man, it's because he got out of the infantry. He doesn't understand anymore.
No. I think
Mine's been
that okay. There's the whole war junkie thing, the adrenaline, chasing the adrenaline. I think that is real, obviously, because your body can't come back down from how high you were.
Well, for me, it's not even. For me, it's not even the adrenaline high. I miss the being there with my brothers day in and day out. And
that's what I miss.
That's what I miss.
And a purpose, and it's also a purpose.
Yeah,
it's a purpose too, and you lose purpose when you get out. So I get that, but when with me, my family has always been forefront of everything. So yeah, I never really had that problem, man, because I was just more worried about my kids and my wife. So I didn't.
Right.
Well, that might be why it's different for me, because when I deployed both times, I had wife, but I didn't have any kids. So I think it would be a little bit different now because I do got kids.
Dude, my first daughter was my wife. Okay, we left Afghanistan and got to Germany coming home, and I called her, and it sent her into labor.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
So she was in labor from Germany to Maine. When I got to Maine, they could have had me on another flight prior to, but because I was an E2, they didn't put me on it. And they knew my wife was Prego.
First available.
So from Maine to Bragg, I was bitching the whole fucking time. Like, motherfucker, y'all better get me the fuck home. It was terrible. I was 2 hours late, bro.
God damn.
You know how smooth of a voice you have to put your wife in labor over the phone?
That's like some Barry Manilow mixed with Barry White.
Damn, dude, she got on like, "What's good, little mama?" And she's like, "Oh, baby's coming."
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Also, with what you were talking about, my dad to this day still has a similar thing where he would always go TDY at least for 2 or 3 months a year when he was in. And when he got out, his biggest problem was my mom and dad love each other and they've been together for so long, but when my dad's home for so long, my mom's like, go somewhere, do something. I can't stand having you around so much.
Yeah, that's healthy. Like, actually, I think
because they get on each other's nerve.
Yeah, I mean, absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, leaving your wife and kids and everything, do you think that is the biggest downfall of your military lifestyle?
Oh, without a doubt, for sure, man. I mean, kids. For me, I got lucky for the most part because my kids were all pretty young and they don't even remember it. So, but that has effect on kids.
Yeah.
Seeing the mom being in stress and crying and worry. Dude, they made me call my wife when I got hit by the IED. You want to talk about, dude, I told them, I said, I don't want to call my wife. They're like, no, call. I'm like, no, I'm not calling my wife.
Heart strings.
And they're like, yo, it's mandatory, you have to call. And they made me fucking call, and the doctor sat there and listened to me talk to her. And it's like, what do I say? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to freak her out, you know what I mean? But I was hit, I'm in the hospital, I'm fine.
I got blown the fuck up.
My mom got like the worst fucking call because
your PTSD.
Yeah.
And so, like I mentioned earlier, my stepdad, he's Delta Force.
Right.
So the first time I was ever hit with an IED, I had, I didn't have family, so I had to call back home. My mom didn't answer, and I called my dad. And I was like, hey, got hit with an IED. I'm okay, just chill in the hospital. He's like, oh, cool. I'm like 3 hours away from your OP. I was like, what?
Wow.
Well, during my second deployment, like I'd lived through getting blown up. I'd lived through getting shot in the leg. I didn't go home from any of this shit. And then my appendix burst. That took me out. And my mom got this fucking call that I was in Germany, but they didn't know where I was. They lost me. Imagine getting that fucking phone call. Your son has been medevaced, but you don't have any details, but we can't find him. He's in Germany somewhere. It's like, what?
That's terrible.
Oh, and that's something else. When we were over in Japan, my mom worked for the Red Cross for a while, and she would have to get the messages from stateside to military members, and then from military members stateside to family members. And she was one of the ones that would have to redact certain information and things to send it. And it's almost hilarious, some of the things people that get into the military and or people messages to military members send through the Red Cross that have to get redacted.
I can imagine.
Right.
Well, I think military
About where they're at and what they're doing.
I think military members, veterans, and their
Yeah,
families
right.
have the most twisted, warped, sexualized, fucked up sense of humor out of anyone in America.
Humor, yes. Yes.
Yeah, anybody that's death on a consistent basis, I believe, has that kind of humor, though.
Yeah, like we laugh at shit that nobody should be laughing
The only
about.
people I found with the only people that I found that have a more morbid sense of humor than military people are undertakers.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's some dark motherfuckers, that's for sure.
Like, so,
Or
an
Planned
example?
Parenthood people.
like,
Oh,
like as an
dun, dun,
example,
dun.
We won't go there.
military humor can be. With some of the guys in my platoon, it was seriously, everyone had to bet on who was going to get blown up first. And the person that got blown up first, when he was laying there on the stretcher before the medics could take him off, had to get teabagged.
Wow.
And I tell you,
Oh, the teabagging, man.
when I tell you, we all been true to our promise. I mean, I'm not talking like a little bit, like little teabag. No, I mean like drop the pants, falls on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
Teabag,
Oh, wow.
Well, the infantry is the gayest straight organization in the world.
Yep.
we all made true to our promise.
Hey, there's that, and then you got the stack tap.
Well,
Oh man,
that's
Those games
something
go off
though.
your-
That's something though with military and spouses that people don't understand is when we make a promise,
Yep.
we will go to the end of the earth to fulfill that promise.
Yep.
We're even in the families, we're taught that you make a promise to somebody, you keep that promise, tell her I what.
Yeah, but what people also get twisted a lot though is we take an oath to defend the Constitution. We don't take an oath to defend the president. Like when he's our commander in chief, and we're going to listen to him and we're going to respect him.
Mm-hmm.
But when they say, you know, the president does this and it's illegal, what do you do? I'm like, uphold the Constitution. Fuck the president.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's like what people don't understand. Maybe this is my viewpoint on it, but like you see with social media nowadays, like people will make a comment, and I'm not going to get too in depth with some of the comments. You know, be bashing one political party to another, and then they'll ask a veteran, "How do you feel about it?" I sit back and I'm like, "Look, the way I look at it, I took an oath to defend the Constitution and to uphold everything it says."
Yep.
They're using their First Amendment right of freedom of speech. Just because it goes against what I may believe or what you believe, it's still their First Amendment right to say that.
Yep.
Feel that way, you know? It's like when people bash on the military, I get asked all the time, does that bother you? I'm like, no, not really. It's their First Amendment right. I know the military is good.
Well, when people would ask me what I thought about the Amy Coney Barrett getting, you know, seated into the as justice bearer, I was like, well, it's in the Constitution that the president's job is to nominate, and it is the Senate's job to fill that fucking seat, no matter if it's election season or not. So yes, I am for it because that's what the Constitution states.
Hell, didn't
Exactly.
the Republicans try to do it with Obama, and Obama did it anyway? So why is Obama having it fit that Trump did it?
No, Obama wanted to put somebody in the seat.
Obama.
Yeah, the Democrats wanted to fill the seat during the Hillary Clinton thing, and the reason that the Republicans were against it is because the Republicans held the Senate, and Democrats held the White House at the time. What's different about it now is we have a Republican president and a Republican Senate, so it is the Republicans' job to fill that seat. I think that's the whole thing with it. I think that it should have been filled by Obama administration, but that's not for me to say or not say. If it's in the Constitution, then it's in the Constitution.
You brought up another thing that I wanted to point out is me.
Okay,
and
before I'm about to cut out.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, who's that?
It's Wick.
All right. I'll talk to you later, Wick. I held you captive for another half hour.
Right. No, I appreciate y'all having me on here, and it's been an awesome conversation, and we'll have to do it again sometime.
Hey, every week we're on her.
Hey,
talking about something.
Have a good one.
All right, later, Wick. Thanks for rolling through, brother.
Yep, later.
All right, who was saying what?
But I was saying there's one thing that a lot of people criticized me and a lot of people that I know for when Trump ran against Hillary was I told them I couldn't vote for Hillary because of what she did with the embassy attack.
Benghazi.
I forget. Benghazi. That was such a thorn in my side, I could not let it go. And I know so many people that were the same way. You don't do that to the military and make them take losses like that, being in that position.
I'm not gonna lie, I stepped away to get coffee. I don't even know what you're talking about.
I was talking about when Trump and Hillary were running against each other, and when it broke about Hillary with the Benghazi BS.
Yeah.
That was the main reason why I could never bring myself for Hillary, is because of how she acted and reacted to that. You don't do that when you're in that position to military members.
Yeah.
Wasn't Biden in the emergency room when fucking Benghazi was going on too?
I don't know.
He was vice president.
Yeah, so fuck. It's not just Hillary's fault. Biden's.
Yeah. Well, Hillary was, I forget what her title was at that time.
Secretary.
Yeah, secretary.
Yeah. So for her to do that when she was in that position, that was just despicable to me, and I could not let that go. It was a thorn in my side.
Let's see. Well, we're coming up on 3 hours, so I'm going to read some fan questions, and then we'll wrap it up.
Cool.
Let's see. All right. Would you, knowing what you know now, and the way your body feels now, would you do it all again?
100%. Without hesitation. Every time I pull the trigger, I do it again. Every heartache and stuff like that. Without even thinking about it, I'd do it all again 100 times faster.
I'd do it all again, but I'd probably do it as a medic.
And with that question, with me not being military but a GI brat, I actually did try to join the military, but I was A, overweight at the time, and B, I was told not to go in as general because they'll put you wherever they want you,
But Senator Graham.
and to go for a specialized field. And every time when I went to specialized, that field was full.
But Senator Graham
like,
stayed
Oh
on.
my!
Me, I'm not gonna lie to you.
I don't know.
Well,
I would
if
rather
Gardner
die.
won or not,
This
but
is
Colorado
just
was Colorado.
I'd
Budget voted
rather
by-
die
I
on
know.
the fire ground.
But the
Oh, what were you saying, Hayden?
this is like a tally.
Me personally, I wouldn't change
from
a thing.
each
I want to go
state
medic. I
Right.
want to go
who
artillery.
voted
Or
what
anything. I would stay
who
infantry.
he claimed. So it's not a full thing because of the fact that all the ballots,
About
from
turning it.
from that one guy who caught it on fire.
Somebody
Yeah.
walked
Those
about the
ballots.
election.
So there's a lot of them that are missing because of what happened when they dumped them, and
That's not good.
That's
So-
Jekyll's wife.
it's kind of
Mm.
they're
Girlfriend.
kind of.
Yeah, not that. Lady friend.
Sorry, I was getting updates on the election.
Right.
I see currently Trump is losing,
Mm.
but Senator Graham stayed in office. That's good. All right, next question is from Loopy. Do you think people underestimate or overestimate us?
Just in general.
I guess. I don't know. He didn't really specify. That was that was verbatim his question. Do you think that people underestimate you or overestimate you? Like, do you think that people think that you're Superman or
Clark Kent.
Robin?
I think when I actually tell people everything that I've been through and done over there, they overestimate. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm being 100% real with you, like, and it's how it is, you know, especially from the civilian standpoint. It's just like, oh, you know, like, done this, and this. Whereas me, I'm just like, I'm like, normal day in the office type of deal, you know? So I definitely agree, like, with this whole, you know, when I was sitting there talking and telling stories and stuff, it does get the word just completely slipped my mind.
Well, I think that when people see everything that we've done, whether it's being out in the field for a week when it's freezing balls ass cold, or doing some crazy shit over in Afghanistan or deployed or whatever, people seem to overestimate us. They think that we're Superman, that we can do anything and everything,
Right.
that every soldier is an amazing crack shot, when in reality you spend hours upon hours at the fucking range because people can't shoot for shit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, people underestimate us because we've done so much shit and we've gone through so much stress that their version of what a lot of stress is and a lot of bullshit and a lot of strain is nothing to us, because we're more resilient than average civilians. So I think it's close.
I have a completely different take. Me being a military brat, most people completely underestimate me, thinking that I didn't do shit, but living in the military lifestyle without being a military member, I've learned a lot about the military and a lot of the same things that military members learn. Not everything, but I know a good deal.
I was going to say is like, because I was also a military brat as well. So, like, coming from that, like, yeah, you're a military brat and you know some things, but at the same time, you still don't know shit. Like, nowhere near as much as someone who actually.
And I admit that, this. I admit that to military members. I don't know half of what they go through, but to an average person on the street, if I say I'm a military brat, they're like, "Oh, so you weren't in the military?" No, motherfucker, but I lived with somebody in the military that fucking taught me shit.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier, that military families, I think, have a harder job than we do. Because you guys go through everything we go through minus pulling the trigger. You might not know all of the,
And-
you know,
and in
the
that-
mechanics of a M4 as opposed to a 240, the
Right.
rate of fire, all that. You might not know all the details,
Right.
but you've gone through the same shit. You've had to sacrifice, you know, football games or throwing the ball with your dad or whatever. You've had to sacrifice
And
so much just
And the
because
other-
your dad
and the
was in the
other
Army
thing is-
or Air Force.
yeah, and the other thing is there's a stigma about military families that they don't do shit. Where most military families are on the base, they're helping to support each other as well as military members, and they work in the PXs and the commissaries and.
Well, with that being
You know,
said, though, the
places around
FRG
the
is a
base.
fucking joke. I'm sorry, but the FRG is a fucking joke.
And fucking shove it.
But at the same time, the USO is a great organization.
Yes.
And that's where a lot of military families do a lot of their volunteer work is with the USO and through it.
Well, the difference between the USO and the fucking FRG is FRG tends to have this attitude like they're above everybody else. And if my husband is a sergeant major, I'm better than you because your husband's a sergeant. It's like, bitch, you ain't shit.
Oh, I hate that shit when people try to pull rank as a civilian, like the wives or the kids. Like, my dad's an officer. What's your dad? And shit like that. That gets annoying.
Yeah, my dad's a captain. Oh, so in other words, he doesn't do shit all day. Gotcha.
My husband's a captain. You salute me too. Like,
bullshit.
Bullshit.
Fucking 400-pound roly-poly. You can barely get out of your goddamn face. Get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah.
I actually said that to a chick.
Like that.
It's like, you know what? Fuck you. Pull over for a vehicle inspection. I'm gonna keep your ass here for 4 hours.
I actually said that to a chick because I was walking by and she's like, "What? You didn't see my license plate?" I was like, "Yeah, it shows a captain rank." "Yeah, so you salute me?" I was like, "Are you a captain, ma'am?" She's like, "No, my husband." I was like, "Then shut the fuck up. I ain't saluting shit."
Yeah.
Like, oh my
Here's the
god.
thing, like, people like think it's a joke. That actually happens.
Yep.
No, it does. And my mom had an incident like that where another officer's spouse tried to bully her. Like, the spouse's rank had something to do with her rank in the community. And my mom actually went and talked to the chaplain, who was a higher rank at the time. He was a colonel. And the chaplain called the guy and his wife into his office and read them the riot act.
Wow. Well, another thing that pisses me off is, like, NCOs that go up to, like, privates or whatever, and the NCO's not in, he's in civvies, he's not even in uniform, goes up to the private and starts talking to the private. The private doesn't get it parade rest, and then in front of his family or his friends or whatever, he just bashes the fuck out of him. "Oh, you should stand at parade rest. What the fuck are you thinking? Why are you talking to me like that?" It's like, dude, motherfucker, how the hell is he supposed to know you're an NCO?
Like, here, when
that
like,
shit's
people are
unneeded.
graduating and stuff like that, because in the PX, like, the trainees are walking around going slow and stuff. Like, you gotta hurry the fuck up, private. Just never, like, I'll sit there and just fully blast him if I'm not in uniform. He doesn't know you're an NCO. He doesn't know that you're a drill. Oh, he knows that you're someone that works out at the range. You know what I mean? Like, or someone's spouse. Like, he doesn't know you're in the military. And, like, I see that all the time where it's like people will come in, you know.
Well,
and I'll
it
see
pisses me off when they
girls
berate him in front of their
people off.
spouse more than anybody. That pisses me off more than anything. It's like, dude, you can take them aside. Like, I would always take people aside if they were fucked up or something, their boots were unbloused or something. I wouldn't make a big scene out of it. Be like, "Hey, bro, come here real quick." Take him away from his wife or kids or family or whatever, and be like, "Dude, your shit's unbloused. You look like a piece of shit right now.
Like,
Fix your shit."
I'm being 100% honest with you. I have never blasted one of my trainees that just graduated in front of his family.
No, I think that's disrespectful.
One of my favorite stories is, as just a kid, there was an officer that demanded I salute him, and I flipped him off and said, "I'm not in the military, fucker. I'm just a military member's kid." and he tried to get my dad in trouble, and my dad's CO was higher ranked, went to the guy and busted him a rank for trying to bully me.
That's awesome. I remember I went down to Fort Carson after I got out, and I was in civvies because I was out, and I didn't have my hair shaved or haircut, and I had a fucking little man beard going on, and this fucking NCO comes up to me, E7. He's like, hey soldier, hey, why don't you shave your fucking head? I was like, how about you shut your fucking mouth? He's like, who the hell? What unit are you in? So I was like, I'm in. That's actually where I got your Fort couch. But I said Fort living room. I was like, motherfucker, I'm in Fort living room. I'm out. I can do what the fuck I want.
Yeah.
It's like people are dicks just to be dicks. I don't get it. It's that whole power trip thing.
Well,
as soon as they get a little bit of power, they fucking take it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's power trips. You get that in civilian and in military life.
Yep, that is true. And another thing that irritates shit out of me, and you could probably speak to this since you're a drill sergeant, is fucking Call of Duty. Everybody and their mother thinks that Army is actually going to be like Call of Duty. Well, this isn't like how it is in Call of Duty. No shit, it's a video game. It's like, goddamn.
I had one trainee, cause, like, I was for real, because he was National Guard, but he was going through for infantry. Which, I mean, he's National Guard, so he's a faggot.
Yeah.
And,
nasty girls.
You know, he asked me, he's like, so, what's war like? Like, can you sit there and camp like a Call of Duty? And I was like, push.
Just push.
And like he's sitting there like pushing, and he's like, well, is that how it works? And I was like, I'm gonna tell you right the fuck down, private. I was like, I don't care what the fuck you think this is. This isn't a goddamn video game. You don't die and respawn. You don't sit there and camp in a corner and light a Taliban that are walking in and out. But that's not how this fucking works. Everyone you kill doesn't come back. Your squad buddies that die, they don't come back.
Well, I would always smoke the shit out of my privates because I'd come in. Like we had these big bays. You walk through the back doors. There's a big bay. I don't know if you guys had the same thing, but I would walk through the bay first thing in the morning. I'm sitting here listening to these privates talk about, oh, my KD is better than yours. They're just talking shit to each other. I'm like, okay, dude, we just spent the whole day at the range. You didn't qualify at all, let alone qualify expert. So how about you train on that and worry about that shit and sight pictures and breath control and natural pauses and don't worry about your goddamn KD. It's like, god damn.
Like, dude, like, oh my god. I'll never forget, coming back from my second deployment, we had this new, like, he was with us, but he was a private. He came back, dude, like, the first thing he did, like, the first night he got back, was hopped on Call of Duty for, like, a week straight. Like, he was telling us, he's like, dude, I got maybe, like, 5 hours of sleep this entire week. Like, I've been, going so hard on Call of Duty, my KD's this and stuff, and I was like, you literally just came back from the real fucking deal. And you're sitting here bragging about Call of Duty.
Maybe it was just like, maybe it was like something just to help him, like if he saw some shit.
No.
Maybe it helped him.
No, not what he's describing.
No, these privates would always end up going to sick call and sick bay the day a new video game came out. And it's like, dude, I ain't dumb. I know it came out last night.
Oh yeah.
It's like you ain't fooling nobody.
I just bought it too.
It's like I played that shit for like 2 hours last night. Guess what? I came to work.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. I love Call of Duty series. They're fun as fuck.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm trying to find people to play the Call of Duty Warzone on PS4 because I keep getting set up with people who either don't watch your side, like you're fucking, you look over, they're sitting there, and then all of a sudden they died, they didn't say shit, or they just left. So it's like, man, fuck all these random players, goddamn.
Real talk, I got an Xbox, we can run that up together.
Is it cross-compatible Xbox and PS4? Because I know that you can do computer and PS4. They have that cross, but I don't know if Xbox you can do.
Yeah, it's crossed with all, so it's Xbox and PC and PS4.
Sweet. Well, look me up. Jekyl Muzic. It's not hard to find me.
I got you.
I don't know if you need all those numbers that follow my name on it, motherfucker, but
Yeah, I will, but we'll get on that
yeah,
shit later.
I can message you all that.
Mhm.
Next question. I don't know if you could weigh in on this one or not because of the disclaimer I put out earlier, but what do you think will be the difference in the military if Biden wins? Not saying if it's a good or bad, but what do you think the differences are going to be?
I really don't know. There's going to be less funding, if I'm being honest with you.
Yep.
Definitely less funding, but as far as like actual structure and stuff, like Biden doesn't care about the military. He'll defund us, yeah, but as far as like actually going through and changing a bunch of stuff, I don't see that happening. The only thing I could see where something would end up being an issue, like honestly, is like if the U.S. got attacked. If Biden was just like, oh, they had their reasons, oh well.
Or if we get sent to war.
Right.
Hey, Jekyl, when you say Biden, do you mean Harris? Because we all know once Biden gets in, that Democrats are just going to say,
Biden's
oh,
just,
he's not
I mean,
Biden's
either
just
way,
the
though.
mouthpiece. He's not going to be the one calling the shots. The whole left is. And that's why I think it's going to change, because there are progressives over there and liberals, and they want to do the whole transvestite in the military thing, and they want to go to war with everybody, and they're going to defund the shit out of it. So I think it's going to be really structurally different. In my humblest of
Honestly,
opinions.
if you want to see what'll happen with the military if Biden wins, you just look at what happened with Obama.
Yep.
It'll be the same thing.
Yep. Very little funding, no ammo. We're going to war with every fucking body. Like, we went to war with places I never even heard of. Like Kyrgyzstan.
And
I never heard of that motherfucker ever. And I ended up there.
And you won't be able to engage if you're engaged upon.
Oh, the fucking rules of engagement? Oh my god.
Don't even get started on that shit.
The reason why we have so many losses in military life is because of the stupid rules of engagement. You gotta wait till they shoot at you first. Why? Then I'm dead. If you have a gun and I'm going to war with you,
with an RPG, do I have permission to shoot him?
Well, the way I see it is, if we're over there and this dude has a gun and he's not A&A, I'm going to shoot him. Otherwise, why would he have a gun out when there's military in front of you?
Never, I'm not going to make that joke. Not on the left.
Not to mention, like I said, you know, and not to mention, like I said, you got a man in the middle of the road with an RPG. Do I have permission to shoot him?
Not until he fires first.
At you, and does it look like he's going to pull his trigger? A positive ID, and it's like, what?
Yeah, it's like, let me do that real quick. Oh, that's another thing. Back to the officers who are appointed over us. I had an officer that he was brand new, and he was attached to my weapon squad, and he called in our frontline trace as the fucking target. I was like, sir, that's our frontline trace. He's like, no, it's not. He's like, stand down, Sergeant. I know what I'm doing. I was like, sir, look at the fucking dagger. And he's like, oh, shit. Well, next time, don't talk to me that way, Sergeant. I was like, motherfucker, you almost blew us up. It's like, God damn.
But then again, you just have to remember, watch out, some of those Qurans look like AK-47s, apparently.
Yeah, those Qurans are, man, they do replicate AK.
Oh, yeah, dude. And Dishkas.
Or according to Biden, the AK-12s.
Yeah.
Nobody in America should have access to AK-12s.
Yeah, AK-15s and AR-47s.
Yeah, AR-47s and AK-12s. It's like, what the fuck?
I don't know about you guys, but I got this brand new AK-12, bro. Like, that thing's like top of the line, like.
Yeah, no recoil at all. It's almost like it doesn't exist.
No recoil, you know, fully automatic, explosive, it says.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's a fully automatic? Wow.
Yeah, and
you got one of the top of the line.
40,000 round drum mag.
Yeah, and it's got single 3-round burst, full auto, and sonic wave. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
With
also,
the integrated
it also has a built-in RPG.
Yeah, hell he is. No more underbarrel shit for this guy.
Yeah.
No more underbarrel grenade launcher, underbarrel fucking rocket launcher.
And that was something else being a GI brat. I got to find out about stuff before it happened. Like I tell the story all the time that when we were in Japan, I had a friend of mine that her dad worked for Office of Special Investigations, and we walked in so she could borrow money, and he left the room to get his wallet, and he had schematics for the B2 on his desk before it was released to the public. And when he came in, he noticed that he shut the file, looked at me because he saw me looking at it, and he went, "Understand this: if you speak what you saw there, you will go to prison."
Yep.
You understand? I was like, "Yes, sir." He goes, "Until it is declassified, you are not to speak about it." I'm like, "Yes, sir." So I never spoke about it until it was declassified.
That is one thing, though. I never
And every
told
time
my.
somebody was talking about seeing.
I never told my
I was gonna
spouse
say,
anything
that
about
was the-
classified shit because I knew she'd spill it just to get me in trouble.
Oh, dude, like, I can't even say half the
Angular
fucking shit I've done
out
on my second
laughing my
deployment.
ass off.
You can't say what?
There's a lot that, like, just because of, like, who I was working with on my second deployment and stuff like that, because it was special operations literally the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I was on the sniper team. There's so much I cannot talk about, it's not even funny.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, and what a lot of civilians don't realize also is just because I'm a veteran, I'm out now, I still can't talk about a lot of the shit because of operational security.
Mm-hmm.
I can go to jail for treason if I do. So it's like, I don't feel like going to jail today, so now.
Yeah, I'm good.
That was something else that was hammered away at us when we were overseas was discussing information in public about the military and what was going on because of us being military members.
Yeah.
Because we're family members.
Yeah, because they'd always plant spies around bases and shit.
Networks. Yeah, and armed forces networks always doing commercials about classified information and not discussing what's going on the base and everything else around the civilians.
Yeah, we'd always have a special, I don't know, codes and shit that me and my family would cash out in person before I even deployed. So if I talked about a certain thing, that meant either I was going on patrol, a mission, or we just got attacked, or something.
Did the same thing.
Yeah,
and that was something else that being a GI brat, my mom and dad had always taught us that there was a code word that if we were in class and it was announced that we needed to come to the office with the code word, it meant something bad had happened to my dad overseas.
Yeah.
And to be prepared for it.
Yeah. And there's a lot of stuff like that civilians just don't understand. That.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they ever will personally, but maybe.
No.
Yeah, well.
I mean, as a kid, you can't explain to somebody the feeling of knowing your dad is overseas, or mom for that matter now, and the feeling you have watching the news about war and wondering if they're okay or not.
Yeah. Every knock on the door, you're wondering if it's the chaplain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I still can't believe back in Vietnam
CO.
that they would have the fucking cab drivers doing it. That was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like how many? There was so many fucking wounded, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, they weren't prepared for it.
Yeah, we were in Dover, Delaware, around that time in Nam, and there's a hangar at Dover that everybody swears is haunted because that's where all the bodies came into before they were shipped out to their local areas.
Yeah, that's
They say
pretty.
there's some creepy shit that happens there.
See, would you guys recommend serving to, say, a 17, 18-year-old kid? Do you recommend service?
100%.
Yes.
Do you think it should be? Do you think it should be law that every 18-year-old should serve through 3 years minimum to earn the freedoms that we live?
No. No.
So, from an actual like military standpoint on stuff, I do recommend to any 17 or 18-year-old, kid who is trying to start off their life to give it, do it for 4 years. Great foothold.
Mm-hmm.
But I do not think that
It should be mandatory.
Yeah, mandatory service is not allowed. It goes against people's rights. It goes against the amendments that we swear to protect and defend. All right.
I fully agree.
Right. Not to mention there are some people that just aren't cut out for military life.
Yep. I want somebody who's qualified mentally as well as physically to be watching my back.
Right.
Like when I say
Exactly.
when I'm saying serving, I don't mean like when you say serving, I know you mean military, but not everybody's cut out for military. Some people cut out for what I do.
Yeah.
Volunteering,
Civil service, as we call it in the United States.
That's it.
Firefighter, police, whatever.
Just do something with your life and don't sit on your ass.
Yep.
Until your mum kicks
Right.
you out and says, hey, you need to get a job.
No, I agree, but at the same time, I think that kids are going to college nowadays it's good to have an education, but with that being said, college is actually becoming more and more of a scam than it is a help to people, because most people that get a degree don't even end up getting a job in that field.
Yeah.
So they just wasted hundreds of thousands of dollars or in debt for the rest of their lives for nothing.
Most of the people that go to college are fucking studying fucking gender race theory and fucking feminist dance theory or whatever the fucking shit is.
Yeah, that's most of the officers. Most of the officers have a degree in something fucking stupid that has nothing to do with leadership. I got a bachelor's degree in social economics. Great.
I got a doctorate in liberal arts. It's like, yay.
That'll help in a firefight.
So you're a fuckhead.
So you're just worthless and no one wants you here. LT.
Last question, and then we'll wrap this. Do you guys think, whether you're for him this election or not, do you think President Trump has done a good job for veterans and with the VA system?
100%.
Most definitely.
I think he's done more than any president before him.
Yeah. There's still a lot more that needs to be done, but he's done more than any other president ever has.
I don't know about the military,
I agree.
but I know economics is the best it's been for a while. Fucking homelessness is down. Fucking jobs is down.
Yeah, everything was down. Economy was booming, and then this virus hit. And what's driving me nuts about this democratically run campaign is they're blaming Trump for joblessness and unemployment. It's like, well, because he had to lock it down, businesses tanked. Now people are out of jobs. How is that his fault when you guys are advocating for more lockdowns when more people will go out of business and lose their job? That's not a Trump fault thing. It's a virus thing. But we won't get into politics. But
Appreciate it.
I think Trump has done more for not just the average citizen, but more for the military specifically than any president ever.
Oh, 100%.
And when it comes to the VA, yes, he's definitely killing it with the VA, but he has a lot to do. There's more of an overhaul in the VA system as a whole that he's got to get done.
Well, there's so much that he's done. There's so much that he's done that.
What are you saying, Jeff?
My bad.
Oh, I wouldn't even say that Trump is good for America. I'd say Trump is good for the world, because if the America's economy is going good, every other country is connected to the American economy. So they go up, everyone goes up. America goes down, everybody dies.
Well, you know that you're a powerful, important person when you get COVID and stock drops like 400 fucking points. It's like, damn.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is Trump's done so many things that are great that the media isn't telling anybody. It's sickening.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
With him not taking his presidential salary, there was one quarter where he donated his entire salary to HUD for veterans to be able to buy homes. Another one he did to the VA.
I think like every year, once he's gotten his paycheck, he's donated all of the money except $1 because he has to keep.
Yep.
He has to keep at least a little.
Yeah, he has to keep $1.
He's donated his salary every quarter to a different charity or branch of government that needs it. I think he even put one quarter of his salary to the national debt.
Well, I think it's not necessarily important of anything that he's giving away the money because he's a millionaire. He doesn't need it. But the fact that he made all of these promises to the American people and to the world, and he's kept every single one minus the coal industry. Like, he's trying to bring it back. He's working on it.
He's working on it.
Yeah, it's not like he forgot about it or lied about it. It just hasn't come around yet. But everything else he's promised, he's done.
Right.
But Biden is talking about not only hurting the VA, but getting rid of it. And it's like, what?
Well, and that's like Biden talking about Trump has never disavowed extremists.
Yeah,
yes, he has.
Yeah, he hasn't disavowed it today, maybe.
When have you? Yeah, but Biden doesn't disavow extremists.
No.
Wasn't Biden the one that was at the fucking what's that guy? The leader of the KKK.
Bird.
Wasn't Biden at that funeral?
Yep.
Yes. Him and Hillary and Bill Clinton and Obama were all at Robert Byrd's funeral, who was a Grand Wizard of the Klan and a senator.
I'm going to shift away from politics again.
Yep.
With the VA system, what do you think still needs to be fixed more than anything? I think it's the choice program because that's still a little bit fucked up.
No, that's what I was going to say. The choice program definitely needs to be worked on and have its laws pulled out and stuff like that.
Because as it is right now, unless they fixed it more than I know about, is you can go wherever the fuck you want, but you have to first go through the VA and try and get an appointment for that exact same thing through the VA doctors. And if it takes more than 1 week to get an appointment, then you can go to a VA, but you have to be okayed by the VA first. I think it should just go wherever the fuck you want and then send the VA a bill.
VA approval needs to be fixed as well.
Yeah, I think it's just like Medicaid. You go to whatever fucking doctor you want that takes Medicaid, and they send them the bill. I think that they should be the same thing for the VA. Okay, yeah, VA coverage. Okay, we accept VA coverage because the VA pays the bill. So go wherever the fuck you want. We'll send them the bill.
Right.
I wouldn't trust a VA doctor to fucking cure a common cold, let alone anything else.
Facts. Like, I fucking hate the VA with a passion.
You and me both. Not just with everything that I personally gone through, but when I found out that this dude had, I forget what the fuck exactly it was. He had some sort of cancer in his bowels, to the point where he had to have a section of his bowels removed, a colostomy bag the rest of his life, and he was only getting 10% for that. But after the surgery, that 10% was dropped to 0% because they did the surgery. He no longer has cancer. It's like, what the fuck?
What?
It's like, okay. But this dude has a poop bag for the rest of his life, but because he doesn't have cancer, he lost the 10%?
Yeah. It's very cool.
It's like their whole math system makes no fucking sense to even the DAV who deal with it all day, every day. It doesn't make sense to them how they come up with their percentages and shit.
Yeah.
And yet the military can spend thousands of dollars on toilet seats, yet they can't spend the money to help the vets.
Dude, we just spent $820 billion to land a rover on an asteroid just to see what it's made out of. But we can't fucking help
Oh.
veterans.
My dad told me he heard that
kind of
the...
important.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, it's putting the money towards toilet seats is really helpful.
But my dad told me today that the first recruits for the newest branch of the military graduated today.
The
from
Space Force?
boot camp. Yeah. The first actual recruits that joined boot camp to be in Space Force graduated today.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of curious to see what Space Force is all about. Because I know my body's fucked up here on Earth. But if I'm at zero gravity, my shit might be working right.
No doubt.
Yeah, I didn't think about that shit.
People that are like double paraplegic or quadriplegic, where they ain't got no legs, they might actually be able to do their shit back up in space. They ain't got to walk nowhere because they're floating around. Fuck yeah.
Fucking laser rifles and shit.
Let's put these boys back to work, goddammit.
That would be helpful.
Alright, Joe, well, we're 3 hours and 37 minutes.
God damn.
I think we've done talked enough.
Yeah, I think we beat our last record of 3 hours. But I appreciate everybody
I
who's
actually
coming
had
through.
to plug in my phone.
I do appreciate everybody rolling through. Jeff, I know you didn't really talk too much, but I can't hear you too awful well. But I'm glad you showed up late as fuck, and but you're here now.
Fuck no, I'd do paperwork.
No, I appreciate you coming through, and same with you, Hayden. And shout out to
I appreciate having me.
shout out to Wickster for being here, even though he's gone now. But appreciate everybody rolling through, everyone who submitted questions for everybody, and then everybody who's either watching this live or gonna watch it later. I think it was an average of 11 people in here this entire time, so I know my viewer ratings just went way the fuck up. 11 people watched for 3.5 hours. That's awesome.
Well, I mean, our first episode, I think we had, 6 the whole time?
Yeah, it was like 6 or 7, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to say one thing before we close all this off.
Shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
Michael,
What's that?
thank you for your service.
Fuck you.
And I have one more thing to say before we close everything. B Squad?
And
Hayden, thank you for your service, you fucking Canadian.
I can eat a dick.
And for everyone who is watching, I'm just going to say this is a blanket thing. You're welcome for my service on Veterans Day. Don't everybody need to blow my shit up and say, Happy Veterans Day, you're a hero. I'm not a hero. The heroes are buried 6 feet under right now with their boots on top.
Amen to that.
I'm not a hero.
It doesn't, with that, it's not even just soldiers that died. It's anyone in the family.
Yeah.
Could be fire, could be police, could be ambos, could be military. Doesn't matter. We're still family.
Oh yeah. I have huge respect for not just veterans and soldiers, but first responders all around the world. Cops, firefighters, EMS.
Most definitely.
Like they have.
Most
I think
definitely.
they are true heroes. Not just the ones that died, but the police and first responders, firefighters. Y'all are some brave motherfuckers. Like I love fire. I like watching fire. It's awesome. It keeps me warm. But I wouldn't run my ass in a building that's on fire. My brain just ain't wired that way.
That's why we have the wildfire crew, Jekyl. You can just join that.
There's still fire.
Living on the living on the Gulf Coast and having just went through Hurricane Zeta, first responders are awesome. We love them because they help keep us safe. And
if we were to defund the police, we wouldn't have people out there directing traffic at traffic lights that were blown away by storms.
Well, I don't know.
And the
Oh, no,
protection for when people go try to loot your homes and businesses.
Well, I don't know if they're considered first responders or military, but the Coast Guard are some crazy motherfuckers, dude, because they have to jump into oceans where there are goddamn sharks to rescue people who are dumb and go like deep sea diving and shit. There's motherfucking sharks in that shit.
Technically, the Coast Guard is classified military.
Oh, they're just. Oh, don't. No.
They are.
I don't know how.
We're not talking.
Sharks don't kill you
Bullshit.
much.
Yeah, much, yeah. If anything can swim faster than me and I can't see it coming, I'm not fucking with it. If God wanted me to swim, he'd have given my ass gills.
TOBO. They only bite once.
Yeah, that's all it takes. That's all it takes. Oh, that. Since you were late as fuck, Jeff, I did have a couple questions that fans wanted to know about your ass. Are you, is it different in Aussie than it is in America? Like, here we have different types of firefighters. Like, we got structural firefighters and we got, like, forest firefighters and shit like that. Is it the same there?
Our volunteers, we don't fight structures. We only fight structures if the structure guys are a good couple hours away and we need to go in. And we still get our ass chewed for it. We're wildfire only.
Okay. So you have to be like full-blown firefighter to actually do structural?
Yeah. Too dangerous.
I don't know if that's the same here with volunteer firefighters or not. I'm not sure. I just know we have different branches of who does what. Even with regular firefighters, like there's people who are structural only and they're full-blown firefighters, and then there are forest firefighters who are firefighters but they only fuck with forest shit, they don't do structural shit.
Then there's people that do both.
I don't even think they do both. I think there's one or the other.
Oh, there's some crews that actually do both.
Are there?
Yeah, Jess was a volunteer firefighter.
Well, I know Jeff was, but I didn't know if
No, Jess in the chat.
Oh.
Jessica Lynn. Jess.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that, Jess.
By the way, hey Jess, you butthead.
Was Jess a volunteer firefighter in America?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's in Texas, but from Massachusetts.
Oh.
Hey Dan,
Good
if my DNA says if my Australian DNA say I'm 50% gay, that means you have a 100% chance of fucking your cousin.
Well, we all know that about Dan.
Yeah, that's already happened.
Yeah. Hell, he married his cousin last I heard.
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's different, or if it's the same, I guess, as far as volunteering and structure and all that shit, is the training the same? Is it like the process of becoming an actual firefighter the same in the U.S. as it is in Australia?
What do you mean when you say process of becoming a firefighter? Do you mean
Like-
volunteer or
Like filling up the paperwork to actually become a full-blown firefighter. Is it the same training process and selection and all that shit?
It's still the same training process. I think Australia, we get trained fucking harder because our structure guys actually do have a little bit of knowledge because they do respond to wildfires.
Okay. And what was the worst fire you've ever responded to? Was it structural, forest?
It was wild. We lost 3 people that night.
Oh damn!
And it was early this year.
Damn, that sucks, brother. I'm sorry to hear that.
And then a couple days later, you lost a couple of guys that were flying a plane. So.
Jesus, rough day to be a firefighter, that's for sure.
Oh, it was. It's okay. We had a massive piss off at their wake.
You took a massive piss on their wake? What?
Massive piss up. Massive drink up.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what?
I heard the same thing as you did, Jekyl. I was like, what?
I thought they were saying he just
Yeah,
like
sorry,
everyone
it's-
took a piss in their
Sorry, in
graves. I was like,
Australia,
whoa.
Yeah.
we call it a piss off.
I was like, wait, that's a really weird way to say goodbye.
Right, I'm gonna piss on your grave, motherfucker.
Why is that not in the army?
Because it would be jizz, not piss. That's just the way it is.
Damn straight.
And Jess said it in the chat. And Jess said in the chat that she was volunteer firefighter for 3 years. She had to go through the same training as the paid officers, but they were trained in both structural as well as forest fires up in Maine.
Nice.
Jay, amen that I don't surf on boards. Why would I surf on boards when I can surf on a crocodile?
Oh, I thought you
Crikey.
surfed on the backs of sharks.
Dude,
Nah, crocodile's more fun.
I think Steve Irwin's daughter needs to be like on TV more.
Bruh, fact.
Yeah, so Hayden can have a fucking wank over it.
I think most males in America would.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. I was one of the lucky bastards that went to school with her, so fuck his all.
Oh, dude, fuck you.
Wow. Jess just said she was the first female to be scuba certified in the department's history, and she was the only female in the department of 50.
Nice. Congratulations, Jessica. You're paving the way for women all over the place.
Not scuba, SCBA, breathing. It's a breathing apparatus.
Yeah.
Not scuba.
Well, I was doing an acronym.
Scuba.
Fucking
You're
acronyms.
acronyming the acronym.
Anyway.
Hey, us military boys and our
She's the
acronyms,
first female
man.
to earn Rookie of the Year. We should have had Jess on this instead of Jeff.
Sorry that my meds kicked in and I fell asleep.
He probably would have been
Okay,
on time
it's okay.
as
I'm
well.
just fucking with you.
Well, I offered for people to come on the show, but apparently Jess didn't want to come on the show.
Ah, okay.
I put
She
it
was also
out.
busy checking the election results too.
Well, you can do both. It's called multitasking.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know yet what next week's show is even going to be about or who the guests are going to be. But tune in next week and find the fuck out because I'll probably figure that shit out the day before because I like to procrastinate shit.
Ooh, Jess said that you ignored her in Discord.
It's not that I ignore people. I just don't listen to anybody, and I don't pay attention to Discord usually. Unless you at me, I'm probably not going to read it. Because my phone blows up 90% of the day unless I put it on quiet. So I wasn't ignoring you, Jess, I promise. But I will talk to all you fuckers later, and thanks for rolling through, and we're going to end this
Not a
at
problem.
9 hours, 48 minutes. I'm so glad I don't have to edit this shit. Because
it was fun. I'm excited to be a part of this more often.
Yeah, it's turning into a good show. A lot of people seem to like it, and it's entertaining. It's fun. It's not like one of those shows where you're like, oh fuck, I gotta go do this tonight. God damn it.
Yeah. And it's informative.
It is. There's a lot of shit that either I have to research for the show, or y'all talk about, and I'm like, oh no shit. Like Jeff, I just found out a bunch of shit about fucking firefighting, and I didn't even know. But y'all be safe, take care, and I'll yell at you guys later. The only reason I won't yell at you guys later is if Biden wins and I shoot myself in the fucking face.
Okay.
Don't shoot yourself in the face.
Before everyone goes, how does everyone feel about Amy Coney Barrett?
Love that chick. She's fucking
like her.
super smart. Excellent
What do you
nomination.
Do you think she'll be good with the trying to defend Second Amendment because her last name is fucking Barrett?
I think she'll be excellent
No, I
because
think she's gotta be.
she's a scholar when it comes to the Constitution, and she listens to the letter of the law. She's not partisan at all. Her beliefs don't come into it. She just goes by what
Exactly.
the document says. So I think she's going to be excellent.
Exactly, and she didn't get goaded into answering questions on any kind of personal belief when she was questioned about it. She always said that she could
talk on it because it's not a precedent of the courts that she can discuss.
But it would be badass to be named after a Barrett. That would be badass.
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right. We'll talk to you fuckers later. Thanks again for coming through, and everyone subscribe to all of our channels and subscribe to this show. If you want to be on this show, let me or Jay know, and we'll get you on here.
Yep.
And we're out of here.
Have fun. See you next Tuesday.
See ya.
With that being